Well, all right. Yeah. You know, ever since I turned pro in 1989, when I signed the dotted line, it was strange. Those things changed for the better and for the worse. So I called my mom and she said, baby, must be the money. Yeah. Must be the money. It's got to be because I got people who want to be my friends. People I never knew. People I never thought about associating with. I don't know what it is. Talk to me. Check it out. Diamond relaxed with gators on my feet. I got some pepper every day about me. My hair is done, my fingernails too. 6 buttons down and I don't know what to do. Must be the money. It's turning me on. Must be the money. Must be the money. You know I can't go wrong. Must be the money. Must be the money. That keeps me looking cold. Must be the money. Must be the money. Got me rolling on the straw. Limousine, first class I fly. I'm living large and you know I can't deny. My drop top is when I'm with my lady friend. My truck a 6-4 with my homies making it. Must be the morning. Must be the morning. Let me ride on tour. Must be the morning. Must be the morning. I can't get enough of all the money. Must be the morning. These women fall in love. Must be the morning. Must be the morning. When I'm kicking it at the club, flashing lights on the dance floor. The DJ says my name as I make my intro. The place is packed, nowhere to find a seat. But I'm no worry, cause I sit in VIP. Must be the money. Must be the money. I got so much juice. Must be the money. Must be the money. When it's sick with all this juice. Must be the money. Must be the money. To afford the way I live. Must be the money.
Must be the money.
Gotta get that prime time, man. Get that prime time.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm gonna have to take that thumbnail. I'm gonna take that down. Man, drill down here, man. I can't let y'all miss this.
No, I ain't gonna do it in front of everybody, but yeah, I remember this song, man. I remember when it came out. Must be the money. Must be the money. What?
Nay.
Must be the money. Hey, listen, I ain't mad at him either.
Nah.
I ain't even mad. I'm not even mad at him.
You know, prime time, boy. He said it a long time ago. Must be the money.
Must be the money. Hey, listen. Well, we need black people to stay here with us. Okay, I built your school up.
Yeah.
You're making way more money with me. I brought all this money to you. How much you increase my salary? Oh, we can't afford that. What you been doing with the money?
Yeah.
Oh, we can't afford it. Oh, okay, then. Well, they can because they know to balance a budget and spend responsibly. So must be the money.
Hey, man, with that, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to Critically Drinking. Hey, I got my boy Yella here. We got man Drill. Rico should be here shortly. Anybody else that wants to pop up, we'll probably be dropping a link too because we want to have a conversation. Now, listen, I'm not really structured today, not highly structured. Just did a 6.5 on over there on Twitch. So I did not prepare any questions. I just want to dive into it, and I'll probably formulate some questions as we go along. But what it made me think of when I heard the Neon Deion had flipped from JSU to HBCU over to the Colorado Buffaloes in the Big 12 or Power 12 or whatever they call it. When he took the job, I was like, man, this reminds me of all the conversations we've been having about sticking with the black community, or people that are going for the money, going for the bag with capitalism. So I wanted to have a conversation with the fellas. I know y'all like sports, but also we've had so many conversations about the Black community, about poverty, about resources, about lack, about how to advance in the society. We've had so many of those type of conversations. I thought this was a perfect entry point to like bridge both conversations. So to start with, I do want to find some, y'all know me. I'm gonna have something playing in the background because I can't do quiet too often. And it can't be must be the money because they will definitely pull my video down. Nope, that's a little too sensitive.
About to say, man, really? This is a Hallmark film? So we're talking about Deion. Are we gonna talk about Kanye? Please make my day and say yes. Please make my day and say yes. Yella, come on. Now listen, no, you messed up, Yella. Y'all had that conversation yesterday without me, and you knew you was wrong. You knew it. You knew you was wrong for that.
We'll switch it up. We'll get some.
Listen, I like to cuss. I love cussing Kanye out. And now this time, I don't have to. Look at what he did.
Yeah, he messed up. Boy.
Game over.
Yeah, he messed himself.
Where's the genius level intellect? Y'all gonna have to answer that. Now you all have to answer for it. I want to know where's the genius level intellect. I need to know. So if we get to that, Yella, just know that even if we don't get to it tonight, Yella, take your notes and study up and prepare because you're gonna have to answer for that, brother. No, you're gonna have to answer for that, Yella. I want to know where the genius level intellect is.
I didn't say that nigga was
Where's the genius? Where's it? Arshawn, are you? Mayhaps you're one such person who thinks he's a genius.
He is a genius, but he's not. Genius. He's not. He's not even a musical genius. His music does not change the world. Geniuses change the world, and that's what I think. I think people today don't know what a genius is. Geniuses change the world. Geniuses make a difference. He's changed.
He's changed his world, and he has done great things for himself. Geniuses create things like Velcro, microwave ovens, rocket ships. Yeah. Okay. Geniuses create electric vehicles that last. All right, put people on the moon, on Mars. Those are geniuses. Musical geniuses. That's Prince. That's Beethoven. Kanye. Bach. Kanye. Not Kanye. No. Even R. Kelly. Even one can even say it, and I hate to say this. It makes me want to puke in my mouth. But R. Kelly is closer to being a genius than Kanye is. Kanye's last 12 albums have been absolute trash. Scoop-dee-whoop. He just proved that people will buy anything. He just proved that people will buy anything. It doesn't even have to be good. His first album, College Dropout, absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
I bought it and loved it. Absolutely fantastic album. I'll give credit where credit is due now. Is he a talented producer? Yes. He's talented. I recognize his mastery. I say he's mastered. But genius? No.
I'll give him genius, but I'm also going to call him trouble. Like a lot of genius.
He's not a genius. Where's the genius level intellect? Geniuses don't do this.
Geniuses do a lot of things, man.
Not this. Come on, Arshawn. You're smarter than this. Arshawn, you want him to be a genius.
No, musically.
He's smarter than this. I mean, no, you're smarter than this, Arshawn. There's nothing genius about that music.
Listen, man.
He does a really good job of taking other people, taking old stuff and selling it back to you. That's what he's done. Because all he does is remake stuff. He samples and remixes. The same thing Diddy used to do. But you don't call him a genius. Okay.
He's a genius.
No, he's not. Diddy's not a genius.
Everybody's a genius.
No, everybody's not a genius. No, Arshawn. I'm sorry, you're Superman has proven himself to be an idiot. But you know.
Oh man, you wild, man. We'll come back to Kanye, man, because that we had a whole conversation over there on the.
You did, and you didn't invite me. That's messed up. I had to sit back and watch.
I just popped up. I was chatting. I was just stopping by to say hey, and they said if anybody can defend Kanye, I'm like, well, guess what? I can defend Kanye.
You can't, and you did a piss poor job.
I did a great job. I did an excellent job.
No, there's no defending that. There's no defending that.
My man, listen.
There's no defending that. You heard what he said about the people he loves. You heard that, and no. Man,
listen.
You can't. No,
Let's talk about pride, man, Joe. We about to talk about pride.
Let's talk about prime time.
Talk about
prime time.
Play this quick 2-minute video, man. That's going to be our jumping off point.
You've made a tremendous impact to the HBCUs. I guess how difficult was the decision to leave what you started there?
Tremendous, because it wasn't about the X's and O's or the wins and losses. It was about those kids. It was about looking at the faces of those kids, knowing that I'm being ready. God is getting ready to elevate me. I'm sorry. God is getting ready to elevate me. Usually a coach is terminated or elevated. Thank God I'm elevated. But still, the journey is not complete. Some of the things that we accomplished there about bringing understanding and notoriety to certain falsities or non-committal things that are done in Power Fives, maybe God is using me to be the catalyst to make you think and to make you just fathom another way, to make us feel unthreatened when someone of the other ethnicity is approaching, to just make us feel good about today. Maybe God is really using me to open doors at this level. The thing that alarms me the most is just because I'm leaving Jackson, they think that I'm leaving African Americans. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I'm black. I can never leave who I am and what I am and how I am and how I go about being that. So it is still my task to look in that locker room and see 65 to 70% of African American men trying to help them get to the next level, as well as all the others. My calling is for young men, young women, and people of all walks of life, all social climates, and all ethnicities. That's my calling. My calling is not built on a location. It's built on a destination. Now that was good. You're supposed to clap for that. Darn it, that was good. You give me some of my good stuff. We just getting started already with it.
Man, real quick, fellas, I appreciate y'all for being here. What y'all think about good old Prime switching over from JSU to Colorado, man? You know, getting those resources, better, better facilities, probably better recruits. What do y'all think about him making that switch? What's your general opinion, man? Go ahead and start, man, Joe, and we'll come back to you.
My general opinion is if he made the right decision for him, then he made the right decision. He's right. He can't leave African Americans because he's black. You know, you can't run from that. You can't pretend. We can't even pretend to be something else. You know what I mean? Like people of other ethnicities can at least pretend to be white or pretend to be Arab or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But we can't pretend to be anything else. I mean, we can't run from that. So I don't think he's sold out because I've heard that before. You know, do you think he sold out? No, he did not. The thing is, he put Jackson State in a very, very, very good place. He left that place in a much better position than he got it. And it's up to them. It's theirs to lose now. It's theirs to jack up. And we'll see what they do with it. You know what I mean? One man can't change everything. You know what I'm saying? And he's not selling out. He's doing the right thing. In my opinion, I mean, I agree with this decision. I mean, now Jackson State has endorsements. They have an endorsement with Under Armour for equipment, you know, and things like that. They have Coca-Cola is with Jackson State still. They still have 6 years on their contract with 8 years on the contract with Coca-Cola. No, 5 years with a contract with Coca-Cola, 6 years with Under Armour. Okay, they have these things now. Now let's see what they have. More money. They have TV money coming in, advertising dollars. You know, so let's see if they invest that money into better facilities. They got the equipment with Under Armour. Okay, so let's see if they invest in better facilities for the kids. Because I remember going to an HBCU, and the facilities were subpar at best. You know what I'm saying? And you got faculty and staff misappropriating funds, getting paid to teach classes that they didn't teach, stuff like that. You know, corruption and shenanigans going on left, right, and center. Okay, but then something like this happens, and I think they're trying to throw him under the bus to hide what they're doing or lack thereof as a smokescreen. You know what I'm saying? Well, if Deion hadn't left, we wouldn't have had these problems. You see, we need people to stay here with us. No, you just need the people while you're there, do the right thing. Be on the up and up while you're there. You know, I don't know. We'll see what Jackson State does, but I mean, I'm not holding out any hope because for some reason, you can't stop people from being corrupt, and you can't convince them to not be. So, I mean, they just want to make one guy a scapegoat. But he left that place in a much better position than he got it, and they should be grateful.
No, I definitely appreciate that. That's definitely that's a lot of good perspective. Now, listen, Rico, before you go, I gotta get him a little taste of Twitch over here because I don't think I've done this over here on YouTube. But let me do this real quick. Because he asked me to drop the link.
Initiate link.
Link right now, link.
If he drops it, shoot it.
Drop it. Drop it now.
Drop.
Link.
You.
You can click on that link.
The link.
Or don't click it.
Do not click on that link on my behalf.
Hear that? Click, 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 click.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Hey, guys, hey, listen to me. Do not click the link. Do not click the link. You hear me? Click the fucking link, dude.
Link!
Yeah, I love a little link pump right there, but definitely, man, thank you for joining, Rico.
Hey, apologize for the delayed response.
Somebody got reverb. That's a comeback on somebody.
Somebody live on.
Yeah, somebody
Rico.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like this is your first time doing this, man. Get it together.
I know.
Your name
straight man drill.
How you been, Rico?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. Another day above ground is always a good one.
Let me see if I can change that. Let me see something. Let me see.
How you guys, how you gents doing?
No, that's still
must be the money. Must be the money.
Yeah, but I appreciate you, Rico.
I ain't mad at him at all.
Opinion, because you said you were having a conversation with some people the other day about this right here. So, what was your conversation like? How did that go? What's your opinion about what's happening? And the video we just saw. And I did see it. But I'm gonna come back to this.
So I could appreciate what he said as far as making it clear on how he feel about the situation, because sometimes we tend to hear our black people try to handle the black opinion with kid glove or the soft treatment. And he flat out told him, like, I'm leaving Jackson State. I'm not leaving African American. It's amazing how before he signed his contract, he was doing so much good. Everybody had so much praise for him. And then less than 48 hours, him not doing anything bad, now he get all this backlash from the same people who was heaping praise on him. So I hope he just continue to do what he gonna do that's best for him. He didn't already set that school up he set Jackson State up for success that they would only have imagined if Coach Deion Sanders didn't come through their halls for 3 years. Like, their resume is so much better since he was there. Their culture is different. If you know anything about college sports, specifically college football, how can I put it? College football teams can grow whole programs off of legacy. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why people still go to schools like Florida State and Miami, even if they ain't winning.
Alabama.
You know what I mean? It's the reason why people, right? It's shit. They winning. I'm talking about like them old the legacy schools, and none of them ain't really doing good right now. It's the reason people still go to Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? Whether they losing or not, it's the reason people still go to Texas, whether they losing or not. LSU, whether they losing or not, because they got a pedigree, and because their program has built a resume off all of the past coaches, not just the last coach that was there, all of the past coaches. And that's exactly what Coach Prime did. He left a legacy. Now when they go get their new coach, it's not. Yeah, our program ain't won in about 4 years. We got trash ass kids on our team. You know what I'm saying? We ain't been able to recruit. Alabama taking everybody. They went from that to, in the last 2 years we've had a top 5 recruiting class in the world. Some of those recruits are still here right now. You know what I'm saying? And you got a program coming off of back-to-back conference championships for the first time in like school history. Come on, man. Folks just don't. We ain't got to stick in the struggle to show our blackness. I'm just gonna say it like that. It ain't even a damn struggle. He left it better when he was. He left it better than he. Go ahead. I ain't gonna.
I got you. Just generally speaking, Rico, from what you've heard about Prime, going prime time, going to the power conferences, Power 5. What is your opinion about that transition and leaving the HBCU behind?
I'll be totally honest with you guys. I've been like so conflicted about this. Usually I always got a strong opinion on one way or the other. But I've been like really, I have a strong opinion, but literally on both sides of the argument. I totally get what Deion deciding to do, but I also get the feelings how people feel about it. And I want you guys to think about something. And this is kind of like, I started doing a little research, and I saw his video where he went and told the kids at Colorado, get your ass in the portal. Go ahead and leave. I was like, okay, that's cold-blooded, but it is what it is. It was just like, you don't like it, deuces. Wow, that's just like cold-blooded, but I get it. And I don't begrudge him as a coach because you're at a lower level, and like you said, you're being elevated to the upper level. So when I set all that aside, I started thinking about something, and for me, and I want you guys to think about it, as much as the fact that, yes, Deion is leaving, I don't know if Deion's success is clearly, I don't know how much of his success is tied to who he is and how great he is. People are leaving out the fact, his son is a bad motherfucker. His son who he's taking with him. Now, I don't know once that boy leaves if Deion's success will be the same. So when I started thinking about it was, I don't regret Deion leaving. I also know that he didn't only recruit his son to Jackson State. He recruited a couple of other 5-star kids that should have been in Power 5 schools. So what I look at with him leaving, what makes me feel sad about it is a lot of these kids that were before going to Power 5 school, they were like, oh no, I'm gonna go play for Deion Sanders. I'm gonna stay in HBCUs. But once he leaves, these kids are now, it's a loss of talent to the HBCUs. It makes it easier for the Power 5. They're like, oh, Deion Sanders not at Jackson State no more. Jackson State not going to pull those kids like they were pulling when Deion was there. You had these 5-star kids all around the country saying, hey, I'm going to Jackson State. I'm playing for Coach Prime. He's not there anymore. Who the fuck is going to Mississippi? That's what Jackson State is, bro. Jackson State is in Mississippi. I'm not knocking it, but I'm saying it was more appealing with him there. So I'm not saying he should have stayed there for that reason, but I'm saying with him being in HBCUs, it made HBCUs bigger. They played far more games on ESPN than they ever had since he's been there. I'm just looking at what his loss does. I'm not blaming him. I wish a fucking Jerry Rice or somebody else would come. But I'm saying I'm feeling the loss of what a guy with his star power does when he leaves, because the HBCUs, I'm sorry, you look in your local area, I don't care where you guys from, top kid in Chicago, Yellow, he ain't looking at, he looking at, oh, I want to go in the NFL. So I'm going to try to go to these PWIs that's going to get me on TV more. When Deion was at Jackson State, they had more TV games. And that's the way HBCUs used to be before the PWIs got integrated. When Eddie Robinson was running Grambling, the NFL was taking their ass to Grambling. But because we've lost that as much, I look at the talent that's going to bleed. He did something that was different. He actually said, because who I am, fuck Alabama, fuck LSU, fuck Ohio State, come play for me, and black kids was listening. Now who else is going to do that? Whether it's a Howard University, whether it's a Grambling, whether it's a Southern, whether it's a Jackson State, who else is going to compel these kids to say, fuck them PWIs, I want to go to this HBCU, and I'm going to start and I'm going to play. And then in addition, I get it, that was his son. I would have took my son too. But his son is probably the HBCU player of the year. We basically left with the baddest motherfucker in HBCU football for the last 2 years, to include next year. That boy was a monster. So those are the things that I'm thinking about, and that's why I'm so in my perfect world, he would have left and his son would have stayed. Don't take the talent, but I get it. But it just leads to a lot of confliction on my part. So I can't blame him for it. But that boy Shador, that boy's a goddamn beast. He is that's why they are undefeated. I honestly think his son is that good at that level. Now it's going to be a little tougher for him when he gets to Colorado. But his son is good. And that's why he went to Colorado and say, that's your quarterback, Shador Sanders. I don't give a damn who you are. You ain't going to be better than him. He's got to earn it, but he's that good. And the kid is that good. That's just where I just been like, man, I don't know. I don't know. I just been stuck. So that's my 2 cents on it.
I definitely get you, and that's where I kind of find myself too, because man, he has a right as an individual. He has a complete right to go wherever he wants to go. Best for him, best for his family, best for whatever. It's his life. But man, it just makes me wonder how any group projects, as far as black is concerned, I don't understand how we're ever going to get anything off the ground, because brain drain, the talented tip. Everybody that we don't have the resources to keep them. We don't have the money to keep them. We don't have the power to keep them. We don't have the fame to keep them. There's nothing that we can offer anybody that's at the top of any industry that's black. They're always going to get more of whatever it is from somebody that's not us. Even if it's lower level, even if it's like just somebody here to start a small business, we're not going to get the same type of support from our people as other people seem to. Yeah, we just don't have the means, and where we do have the means, we spend it more frivolously than supportively. So it's really difficult to, judge anybody for wanting to step out, to leave. I just want to say, like, real quick, I got you, Mandrell. I just want to say, real quick, I saw that. Mandrell, like, never raised his hand in his life since probably 8th grade, man. I just don't understand how we're ever going to have anything. All the different groups that talk about black stuff, black this, black that. I don't understand how we're ever going to be able to win the draw, the pool. The pool is so strong outside, but like the fourth is strong. I see that Vader hand. I feel that Vader hand. Go ahead, Clue.
Listen, have you ever attended an HBCU, Rico?
No, I haven't.
Arshawn, have you ever attended an HBCU?
Sir.
My father and mother attended an HBCU. So did my uncles and aunts. My sister attended an HBCU. I attended an HBCU. Here's what I got for them. The situation that they found themselves in, if you attended HBCU, you would feel me. Because when you see the conditions these schools are in and the money you're paying with tuition, you see what's going on with the money and has been going on with the money for so long, it's their own fault that they're in this position. Like, I hate to say it because I love black people and I want to see HBCUs thrive and flourish. I want them to be twice as big as Alabama or Notre Dame or any of the rest of these big schools. I want that. But when you look at how they're managed, and you're like, okay, this is your fault. This is all your fault. Like, you, again, I hate to even say that part, Rico. You know what I'm saying? It kills me to say it, but it's like, and it's heartbreaking. I went to Alabama A&M. My sister went to Alabama State. So did my father. A bunch of my other relatives went to HBCUs, and all of our stories are the same across several different generations. All of our stories are the same. So it's like they brought this on themselves. Like, they'll get opportunity. They've had opportunities, like with Coach Sand with Primetime coming there. They've had chances to come up. I'm just like, yeah, but why don't they? Why don't you just stick to the? They should have just stuck to their guns with what was working, and then they would have been out of this fix. No, someone comes in, 50 grand gone here, 100 grand gone there. Where'd it go? I don't know. Okay, so why'd you fire that person when they were doing such a good job? Well, we just felt like they weren't a good fit. They were getting the job done. Like, there's no mission-oriented people in charge of these schools. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of like it's all random. Like, there's no clear objective when it comes to the administrators of what they want to do with the university and what direction they want to go. They have no direction. They're just kind of operating. And so when money comes in, they don't know what to do with it. And then it disappears and nobody knows what happens to it. And this happens with so many different HBCUs over so many decades. And that's why I'm just like, you brought it on yourself. Because you brought it on yourself. Now, again, it pains me to say that. And you're right. I can't argue what your point was earlier, Rico. Arshawn, same with you. I have no pushback for what you said. Because you're right. But two things can be right at the same time. They did bring this on themselves, every single one of them. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a daggum shame. I hate to see it, but it's just like all this crying about primetime. But you look at the opportunity you have now. And yeah, I agree with Rico. It was a hit losing his son. It was a hit. That's a gut check, man. It is. Okay. But
that motherfucker Heisman candidate.
Yeah, he is. But so it's like, but I say take what the situation that you're in now and make the best out of it. You know what I'm saying? Do your best to make the best out of it. Jackson State is a household name now. You say Jackson State, you think primetime. He's not there anymore. But at the same time, you still remember Jackson State. So let's make something out of this now. He ain't here no more. Nothing we can do about that.
But can I ask you one question real quick, Mandra, with your blessing, Arshawn? And I definitely agree with you 1,000% with how the HBCUs put themselves in the position that they're in. 1,000%. I have no pushback for it. They need booting their ass, this, that, whatever. But I also ask myself, do we look at the PWIs through the same lenses? Because they've had a lot of mismanagement, so on and so forth, and they just tend to cover it up. And they have a longer runway to fuck up. They just do.
That's true.
A lot of PWIs.
That's true.
While I am very critical, and I don't care what they do, I'm gonna be critical on my people. But I'm just sitting there saying, I just want to be clear that, like, this ain't just an HBCU thing. And then I also ask, like, well, if they don't stay and we don't stay in fourth, does this mean that, hey, we give up on HBCUs and just say, I don't know. Are we saying that, hey, we don't need them anymore?
No, I'm saying first, I got you. I'm saying first, we need a goal. Number one, we need a destination, because we don't even, these HBCUs, they don't even have a destination right now. Like, what do you want? This institution used to be great. Okay, how are you going to make it great? I don't know. Let's figure that out first. You know what I'm saying? What are we trying to do here? Like, these schools seem to have no direction and no goal. Do you want your science division to be the greatest ever? You want your athletic division to be the greatest ever? Education program, You know what I'm saying? Do you want to be a well-versed educational institution? You know, you want to have very good program, extremely good programs in different facets of education or fields of study. What do you want to do with this school? And none of them seem to have a goal. And I agree, they need to have everyone needs to stay on course, but we don't even have a heading. We don't have a course. We don't have a destination. So I mean, that's why they all seem, from my observation, that's why they all seem lost. And I think someone at one of them needs to have a destination, come up with a destination for us to have. So, and then we can go make sure everyone stays on course and make sure everything's managed. And I agree, the other ones, the PWIs, they do have a much, much longer runway and much, much more margin of error. You know, they can afford to mess up more. But I have no sympathy for them either when they get trashed out. I mean, I love to watch a hypocrite burn. I do. They talk all that trash about HBCUs, but then when they get messed up, like, aha! See, that's what I rub it in. I rub that face in it.
Well, my one last thought is: do you think that maybe we should condense HBCUs to make them better, so that they don't go extinct? Maybe we just got too many of them. I don't know.
I don't think we're there yet. I
just want to throw out some ideas. And
I know, and that's not it. And it's not. Well, it's not a. I'll say it's not a bad idea.
Save them.
How do you save them?
I'm thinking about the saving.
Because we
don't go away.
We don't want another Morris Brown.
Fewer stronger than more weaker. Think about that concept. We can have 100 weak or 50 strong. Which would you?
We got too much ego, man. We got too much ego for that.
Yeah, exactly. Like me.
The same, and I want to get Yellow back in here because we done had Pro sitting off for a quick second. What I see in the HBCU domain is the same thing I see everywhere where I see black people. We all know we have slim margins, few resources, little help, but we won't consolidate because I guarantee you, no matter which city any of us are in, I guarantee you there's a pocket where we could sit there and chuck a football or a rock and probably hit 5 different churches that all have 8 to 12 members. Like, I guarantee you there's at least one corner in your city where you can take a rock and just spin and hit 5 different churches, and they'll all be black churches with 8 to 12 people in them, instead of just having one with 50 that's working, and the pastors maybe just each take a turn on a Sunday. We do that in so many different zones. But yeah, Yellow, what you think about that question, man?
All right. Let's insert some numbers into the conversation, right? Because I want everybody to kind of know where this whole situation stands. Deion Sanders didn't leave Jackson State because of a money dispute. All right. Deion Sanders got a $40 million net worth. He was signed to a 4-year, $1.2 million contract, which included a $120,000 annual performance incentive, which he had to knock out the park. He stated several times that it's not about the bag. Even to the point to where him taking the job at Colorado yesterday when they addressed the players, the athletic director said they don't even currently have the money to pay him. I don't think he would sign that deal knowing that they currently don't have the money to pay him if it was about the bag. This is about the elevation. This is the scarier side of what I'm seeing. It's too much. He's leaving the culture, or he's turning his back on black people, or look, man, when you create a legacy like that, your legacy shouldn't have to be stuck in one place. A legacy is supposed to spread far and wide. And it's not like he's leaving a lot behind. Like, true, he's bringing people with him. I mean, it's not like he's leaving nothing behind. True, he's bringing with him his staff, most of his staff. I'm pretty sure besides his son, there's going to be a couple other players transferring with him. And guess what? He bringing all his supporters too. He bringing all the people that rock with Deion. This man finna change the culture over there. So I get everybody feels a certain type of way because it's Colorado, but give it a year or so. Colorado gonna be looking real Jackson State-ish. Because you're gonna start having more players going to go play for Colorado now. It's a shit program. He said it. That's why he went in with such aggression towards them. He let them know, man, I'm coming in with my own luggage, and it's Gucci, it's Louis, which means I'm coming in, and I'm moving in, and I'm bringing my people with me, and we're gonna fix this place. Now they could have gave that opportunity. It's fucking funny how we complain about black coaches not getting opportunities. Black coaches always overlooked. Black coaches always passed over. But as soon as one of our better black coaches gets a job at a program where he could potentially win a national championship at, which wasn't going to get done at Jackson State, because Jackson State in the sweat doesn't qualify for the NCAA national championship. Now we mad. Because he's leaving us. Man, come on, man. This is why I don't sign up. This is why I don't sign up for none of the identity shit. Because you forced to get trapped into this identity to appease the masses. He got to qualify his black by staying black when he can go create black somewhere else. Man, look. Colorado colors is black and gold. Man, I can't wait to see how Prime had them jerseys look. He already said it. He already said it in the meeting. He's like, wait, everything gonna change. The players, the jerseys, the shoes, the cleats. Man, look.
Can I ask you a question, y'all?
Real quick, because I like that point. Real quick, I ain't gonna take long. Like, because if you, what did Prime say, Rico? If you look good,
you play good,
and if you play good,
you feel good.
And if you feel good, I mean, go ahead.
Good. Yeah. Look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. You play good, you get paid good. God damn it. You play good, they pay good. So shit. Come on, man.
I think we gotta reality set the conversation because again, I'll tell you this: I'm a huge college football fanatic. Colorado ain't winning shit. Deion's going to make them better. Absolutely. Jesus ain't going to make them motherfuckers win no college championship. Just that program where they pull from the conference they play in, he's going to make them better. And let's be clear, Colorado, Deion's their third straight black coach. So it's not like Colorado has not hired black. The previous two guys, they sucked there too. The program's Deion's going to make it better because he's going to be able to pull better talent there. I have no problem with Deion leaving. I'm mad that his son's leaving Jackson State. Because to me, if you watch college football, I'm going to be honest, his son is the gold. That boy is fucking good. Yeah. When I look at Nick Saban, I'm like, man, fuck all these coaches. They can pull the talent. Nick Saban has been pulling these tops. So you look at the Ohio State. These programs pull the best of black kids from all over America.
Now, that's the part I don't like. I don't like the Saban gets off.
That's what.
And I live in Alabama. And I live in Alabama. I was born and raised. And I'm like, look, I don't like Tuscaloosa.
Top
like Alabama
classes, and don't even go visit all the kids. And it's like, okay, his top five his first, second, third string quarterback are all 5 stars. Like, what the fuck? So when you have that much talent, it's almost you have to purposely fail. That's literally what the problem is. In HBCUs, we're at. It used to be. Remember, the Hall of Fame, the National Football Hall of Fame, is full of HBCU grads when they couldn't go to the PWIs. So those coaches didn't have to go out, and they didn't. As a black coach, I didn't have to Grambling, Southern, Morehouse. I didn't have to go to the black because I knew they was coming here. They couldn't go to the PWIs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was easier then, and they were winning, and they were whipping them white boys' ass. But when they opened it up to integration, they started allowing, and these kids started going to those schools. It was like Arshawn said, a brain drain, but an athletic drain on the HBCUs. And unfortunately, of course, at that time, college football wasn't the economic engine that it is today. That's just a damn near $1 trillion industry, the NCAA. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
It wasn't what it was then. So, and that money is going directly into those universities, those college presidents, those conference championships. So HBCUs never got the benefit to enrich themselves off of the popularity, even though our sons and our daughters and our sisters and our brothers and our cousins are going there to fund the engine of those PWIs. Those PWIs, they may have 20, 30 sports programs funded by the basketball team or the football team, because none of the other sports don't make shit. And then they also fund the all kinds of stuff. Alabama football, what it does for the University of Alabama is ridiculous.
It is.
It's ridiculous. The amount of money. Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah, most of the programs do. For most schools, for most alumni programs, for most booster programs, it's the football team.
Yeah. Or the basketball.
That's from high school. That's from high school all the way up to college. I mean, that's from high school to college.
It's football or basketball, because if you're a Duke or North Carolina or one of those basketball, or Kentucky,
right.
And what are the faces of the kids that play in those programs? So, I'm with you, man, Drill. HBCUs need a kick in the ass, but I also know they never had an opportunity. Same way I saw a video they talked about, like now, the kids today, they get to do the NIL, names, image, and likeness. So a kid going to college now, he'd be there, he's a freshman making $1 million a year if he's a 5-star. Couldn't do that. Who started that shit? Ed O'Bannon in UCLA. When he sued the NCAA for using his face in a video game because they was making money off of him. And he's like, I'm hungry. I'm fucking hungry. I had barely enough to eat, got to study, practice, and everything else, because they've always been making money off of us. We never had a chance. So when I just look at the university aspect of it, again, I don't care about Deion going. Deion, go make your money. He didn't need the money. I wish his son had stayed. That boy's a Heisman candidate. And I'm just saying, I don't blame Deion. If it's my son, motherfucker, you going with me. Fuck that shit. But, so I understand it. But I'm saying is, when's the last time we had a Heisman Trophy winner from an HBCU? That's all I'm saying.
I can't think of.
So if Shedeur Sanders had said, hey, look, I'm accepting the Heisman Trophy, I'm for Jackson State, that shit would have been great. And just to boost the HBCU. But at the end of the day, I ain't mad about it either way. I'm just conflicted. That's all. I'm just like, it's tough.
I know it's going to be coming by D Harp real quick, man. For everyone that is mad he is leaving JSU, send JSU $100. If you care so much, send them some money. Those kids don't need a good football team. They need cash. Send your support. I like that, though. What we're talking about, honestly, is resources, man. We need the resources. So I want to ask y'all this question. Because Yella said something. He said, well, Steve McNair?
Well, Steve McNair, 1994.
That was him?
Alcorn State. He won the Heisman.
Alcorn State.
Yeah.
Okay, Alcorn State.
Alcorn State?
Yeah, Alcorn State. Oh, he was. Oh shit, he was murdered for Alcorn.
That was a bad man.
Yeah, he was.
I wanted to ask a question. There was two things that y'all said something. I already typed one in though, because Yella said something. Why is it we are often asked for? Yeah, that's right. You said Prime had to take. They don't have the money to pay him right now. Why is it though? As Black people, a lot of times we are often asked to take underpaid or unpaid opportunities for exposure. How do we develop that value where we're not settling? Like nobody else is asked to settle. Why is it always us? And I would say, on a scaling, one thing you said, Colorado, they went for Prime and they can't afford to pay him, and he took it. But then the same, if you down scale that, JSU has the same problem. We can't pay for the same type of the brain capacity. We can't the same managerial skills, the same accountants, the same presidents. They can't afford to get those in the HBCUs. They just can't compete. So if they're actually the best people, the HBCUs are not going to get them. Now I see your face, but you know they don't have the resources at the HBCUs.
You get endowments just like every other university.
No,
you pay them high ass tuitions just like every other university.
That's true.
Here's the thing. Now listen, here's what Alabama State and Alabama A&M did. Once they found out that the state had been for decades, almost since the very beginning, for decades, been taking the money that was meant for them, giving it to Alabama and Auburn. You know what I'm saying? And they sued them. The state was like, "Oh, shh, just don't tell anybody, because you owe us." Because those schools like, you owe us, and it was a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, seriously, there are countries who don't have that kind of budget. So the amount of money they stole from these black colleges, right? Jackson State needs to look into that because the money's somewhere. They have the money to pay people a decent salary. Yeah, you cannot convince me that they don't. Oh, okay, then you need to get some good accountants. You know what I'm saying? You need to pay someone to manage his money then, because
they got some money. They signed his deal was worth $1.4 million. Like they was paying him that, and he's got to pay them like a $300,000 buyout. Like they're gonna have the money to pay another coach. That's not gonna be the deal. But the thing with the deal that he's taking, he signed for $5.4 million. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's part of the question. Like, why is it that we're often asked or offered unpaid or underpaid opportunities? Once he put his name on that dotted line, Colorado better come up with $5 million, so they gonna always owe him $5 million. Like Deion's getting $5 million. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a play, and we'll see what's going on. Because the back end of that comment was the back end of the statement that athletic director made was him looking at the boosters and at the cameras like, I know we gonna make this happen, right? And all the people at Colorado was like, yeah, here we come. Let me go grab my checkbook. Let me make sure I'm at the next boosters gathering. Let me make sure I'm at the next alumnus meeting. They gonna throw, come on now. Them people finna throw that money at this program, right? Throw this money at this program, bro. And it's a school with some history, so like it's got players who might come back and support the, you know what I'm saying? Support the team. Let me see.
Yeah. Well, see, but you know what? Here's another thing to think about too, though. When you look at you look at the coaches at the big program, the big PWIs, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm just looking at it comparable, like Deion. One of the benefits that they get as opposed to like the HBCU is like Saban. He'll have a contract through the state. You go to a state school, you're paid by the state. Alabama might pay him $5 million a year, right? But in addition,
the heat freeze, or was that me?
Yeah, that's him.
Okay. Frozone. I thought he's gonna come unglued for a quick second, but while he's froze, man. There you go. You back. You're back. Yeah, there you go.
The only reason I'm saying is that when you're at these major programs, you get kick-ins. So I think the funny thing about it is what they end up getting from the school, they'll double, sometimes triple outside of it through endorsement. Saban is just, he might be getting $5 million from Alabama and probably another $15 million from endorsements, TV shows. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. It's obscene the amount of money-making opportunities that they make even outside the school.
Yep.
It's fucking unfair.
Yeah, because Prime and Saban were both Affleck. Prime and Saban were both pitching Affleck.
It's crazy. So now, granted, Prime will get that opportunity as well now, because now he's with Colorado. He's going to see opportunities that's afforded to him outside of coaching that maybe in Jackson, that's all he got was the coaching money. Because I don't know if that, those car dealerships and radio stations is going to pay him what he's going to be able to get up there in Colorado with them, with Becky and them money. Becky and them money is different money. And that's why I said, I'm not mad at him. Hey, fuck it, Prime, I would have left too. I just wish his son stayed. That's all I keep saying. I want his talent to stay. Prime ain't playing football no more. Deion ain't on the field. That motherfucker ain't lacing up doing nothing. It's his son that's beasting the fuck off. It ain't Deion. So who Jackson State gonna miss? Are they gonna miss Deion or they gonna miss Shador? They gonna miss the fuck out that boy. They're gonna miss the fuck out of him, and they're gonna miss the fuck out of anybody else that could have continued to come to the program like him, because they actually have to play. Deion doesn't play for Jackson State. He coached them. Hell, if me and you had a bunch of 5-star, goddamn, I'm good for fucking 8, 9, 10 wins. If you load me the fuck up. If you load me up, shit, I get them. I get them. You have to be like really a terrible coach to fuck up.
I'm finna say, you give me the team. Yeah. The best team with the best players in the league. You get man. That's exactly what Jackson State was. The best team with the best coach with the best players. Yeah.
They walked on the field. They were scaring motherfuckers. They was like, oh Lord. They were, but that's going to be a drop off. I mean, I don't think it's going to be immediate. But like 2-3 years down the road, you ain't got Deion, you ain't got his son, you don't have that same caliber of player coming in. They're still they're gonna field a team. But I think what was their record? I think Deion's first year they were like less than 500. Been there 3 years. I think his first year they were less than 500, and then the year before that, I think they might have won 1 game. I'm like, and y'all think that shit ain't going? But what Deion brought immediately, because before his son Shador, who's the HBC Player of the Year, he had his son Shiloh, who's a safety. Deion got 2 sons that play for Jackson State. That motherfucker ain't got 1; he got 2.
Yeah.
Both of them boys is lights out ball players. And then he recruited a 5-star. That Nick Saban and them was trying to throw him under the bus, talking about how much Deion paid him. Because you remember that big blow up that was earlier in the year, because Alabama wanted the boy and Deion took him to Alabama. What's the kid name?
Travis Hunter.
Right.
Travis Hunter, #1 recruit.
Yes, Deion Sanders took him from Alabama. That's what I'm saying. They ain't getting that shit.
Yeah. He got him to decommit from Florida State. Dog, he was so cold where Deion Sanders got him to decommit from Florida State, and that's Deion Sanders' alma mater.
Yeah. So you're not gonna tell me Jackson State gonna continue getting them dogs like that. They not gonna continue to get them. And that's what I'm not upset that Deion. I'm upset Travis Hunter going to Colorado with him. Shador Sanders going to Colorado with him. Shiloh Sanders going to Colorado. He's taking 3 of Jackson. He's taking Jackson State's probably top 10 players.
Yeah.
He's taking.
Yeah. I'm looking at a list.
Decimated his fucking football team. That team is decimated. If you take 10 of their best players, that team's starting from scratch, bro.
I'm finna say they got.
And go ahead.
I know. I was gonna say that they got.
That's what I was looking at. I was like, we gotta look at it from that. I ain't thinking about Deion. If Deion left by himself, shit, leave them kids there. We good.
All right, real quick. I heard one of Jackson players mention something about some other teammates may not get on the portal. They may not transfer. Does that mean some Jackson players are thinking of not playing to rebel? I guess they're playing. I would think some people are probably not planning to transfer. I know that's going to be a thing. Some people are probably going to be slightly offended. Some people probably did buy into the whole HBCU thing. So I mean, that always happens when the coach leaves. Some always gets in it.
For some of them players, the best opportunity is going to be to stay there. Because while we're looking at it, and I get what Rico mean, like you're taking a lot of already established talent, right? But the cool thing about college football is that you're always cycling in talent. You're always cycling in new players. And you recruit these players for a reason. Even if they're a 3-star recruit or a 4-star recruit, they're still good football players who, if coached up right, and like I'm saying, he ain't leaving the scraps. He's taking the best with him, but you got to understand that what they had ain't just all scraps. They had a good team from top to bottom. They got a good program from top to bottom. So he didn't already not named the successor, but named a recommendation. Who, when he named him, the kids went crazy. The boys went crazy. They was like, man, yeah, we like him. You know what I'm saying? He's somebody who already been there. Plus, they some of the staff. It's like when you got a coach, like every coach got somebody up under them, ready to take their spot. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say he might not be there, and he might take some talent with him, but what he left is a blueprint on how to win. Take this, implement this with the next generation, and do the same thing.
And I'll say one of the good things about it, he told them when he's leaving at enough time that they got an entire off season to prepare. So it's not like he left at the beginning of the start of the season. So they do got time. So I'm not saying that Jackson State thrown under the bus. But I'm just saying, like, don't expect next year Jackson State team to be the same as this year because Shedeur Sanders was I think this was his second year starting. But he was about to be maybe a senior or a junior. So he's matured, he's seasoned, he was the leader. So they gotta fill some key spots. The coach should know automatically, look, I need to get my ass out. So once Deion took that job, whoever he assigned as the new coach, motherfucker, you need to be on the road right now, going around, start visiting recruits and begging motherfuckers to come. Because that's what coaches do. That's what you have to do. As a coach, if you ever coach football, you got to go around and beg people to play for you. You have to beg them. And you go around and beg. Even when I coach youth football, you be in accounting, oh, that motherfucker fast as hell. I'm begging his daddy, his mama. I pick him up. I bring him home. I pay for his cleats. I do. Because even at the youth level, you beg for talent. The competition for talent is fierce. It's always football, basketball, baseball, soccer. The competition is fierce. So, again, I have no grievance. Deion didn't need the money. You know, I wish he had stayed, but you know what? You want to leave, you leave. Fine. I just wish his sons had stayed.
Let me ask you.
They're the star.
Let me ask you a question. Now, I'd asked a question about this. Why is it we're often asked to stay for unpaid or underpaid? Because that even includes Jackson State. For somebody like Deion, that's not a real salary. But in comparison, though, I mean, because y'all brought up PWIs a little earlier. Like Jeff Saturday skips the whole system entirely for an NFL prospect. People like Jim Caldwell, Pep Hamilton. Raheem Morris, like people that have a hard time getting those opportunities. What's that guy from Kansas City? Eric Bieniemy. There's a lot of I see your face, but there's a lot. It's really difficult for a lot of black coaches. Brian Flores, where is Brian? Why is he not head coaching?
He's not a head coach, but he's at Pittsburgh.
But that's what I'm saying. Right. You know, Tomlin had to grab him up because otherwise he'd have still been sitting on the show if it wasn't another black coach. Like, there's an issue with black men in the coaching sector. You go ahead and give me the face. We are asked to take the backup positions. We do not get the same type of promotion that other cats get. I'm just asking what y'all think about that. I see Yella's face. Go ahead, Yella. Tell me. You don't like that question. Go ahead, hit me. Hit me, man.
I think the Washington Post did a deep dive.
Think about it. Yeah. They got a whole Rooney Rule because of it.
But go ahead, y'all.
I'm gonna speak on one specific situation, and that's the Jeff Saturday situation. So I get a lot of the other scenarios, like with coaches not being able to get certain jobs in certain places, certain openings. But let's take our hearts out of it and think football logic. If it would have been anybody else other than their greatest center of all time, a Hall of Famer who knows the culture of the team, who has a connection with the team, who has been with this team for a long ass time, I could probably understand it. If it was another, hold on, check it out. Like if it was another coach, like damn, I can't even think of the dude Matt Nagy. I think Matt Nagy looking for a job. Matt Nagy, the coach for the Bears last year. If Matt Nagy gets the job, I understand your argument. Because it was a candidate that they pulled off the street. No connection to the team, no link to the coach. You know what I'm saying? No position already on their coaching staff, no position in their office at all. If they went on outside and grabbed somebody, cool. The only reason I can't be like that applies to the Jeff Saturday situation is because Jeff Saturday is one of the greatest Colts players of all times. I think greatest player who ever played, one of the greatest players who ever played for the team, kind of overrides. We need to put a black coach in the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it, but at the same time, we talking about building legacy. Football is built off of legacy. If there's any sport that ties itself to the past besides baseball, it's football. That's why most times when you see a team like who the fuck is we talking about? The Colts. You see all they shit displayed. They got the horseshoe of honor with all the names of the play. It's legacy, dog. So why wouldn't they put one of the dudes whose name is on the fucking ring around the damn stadium instead of somebody who will appease a rule?
I'm with you halfway. They shouldn't hire somebody just because they're black. The other half where I'm not with you is there are qualified black coaches who would be more qualified than a non-coach. He was a player, but not as we know, Michael Jordan. Let me see, who was it? Was it Larry Bird and Magic Johnson? Not every great player makes a great coach. Like that's just not the way they do.
Most linemen do.
Maybe
most linemen do. Linemen and defensive back. I mean, linemen and linebackers. Usually they transfer over to decent coaches. If you go look, I would trust my center would be the person who would understand football on a good scale. I'm just saying, this is me thinking the football brain.
But no experience, no game management.
You got coaches that won Super Bowl that never played at the professional level. Period. Bill Belichick has never played. He's won 6 or 7 Super Bowls. The boy in Seattle, he's never played.
He's been around football his whole life, though. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So what I'm saying, so I don't think the playing always correlates to the winning.
No, I got you.
And that's all I'm saying is like these motherfuckers never played. They just ended up being some good coaches. It's kind of weird.
And that's why I say it's in certain circumstances, that's what it comes down to, the very specific person who's getting hired, right? So like I get what you're saying, like and I can understand you on the other side, like it's qualified black coaches. But okay, let's look at the Colts. Who would you say is the greatest Colts player of all time?
Peyton Manning.
Okay. Who was basically Peyton Manning's right-hand man?
Reggie Wayne.
Shut up. Jeff Saturday.
Dallas
the person whose nuts rubbed up against the back of his hand every goddamn day.
What's crazy about that? You say that, right? You said it because Jeff Saturday. Remember, here's the thing: Jeff Saturday is the coach, but believe it or not, Reggie Wayne is on his staff.
True. That's like the only other person I can understand. Yeah.
I was just like, well, damn, why they ain't give it to him? So what I think for me, when it comes down to the black coaches, it doesn't come down to who gets hired. It comes down to who gets an opportunity or a chance. And I think that oftentimes, other than, like surprisingly, like I think the Texans they wasn't going to hire Lovie Smith. And Lovie, Chicago guy. Speaking of a Chicago guy, took you guys to the Super Bowl. They was going to, who the fuck was it they was talking about bringing in? Some guy that had never coached at any level. White guy.
I know what you're talking about, yeah. I think I heard that story, yeah.
And because it blew up, so I think about it, it's like, that's how Lovie got the job, because it was so embarrassed. They was like, this nigga ain't even coached at high school, and they was going to bring this white boy on and give him the job. But because it was such an embarrassing story, and after they had fired the brother after 1 year, who didn't do a bad job
at all,
didn't do a bad. They were fucking terrible. They're a terrible team still. So now Lovie's gonna get fired. They're gonna give Lovie maybe another 2 years. If he don't take them to the Super Bowl, they're gonna give him another year, because they're not gonna do. They did one and done. They're gonna do one and done again. Because that's going to be too black coaches.
Yeah, that's going to be too bad. Yeah, that's going to be too bad. Yeah.
I say, Lovie, to keep your job, nigga, you got to take them to the Super Bowl.
And Lovie got some grace, though. Lovie got some grace in the league, too. Like, yeah, Lovie got some respect. They ain't finna just dirt him real quick.
Look at the coach they had before him. I think it was Bill O'Brien. He reigned like 5-6 years stinking it up. The coach. So the problem, I think, for a lot of the black coaches is, white coaches are given all this grace to fail, and they're just not. So if they can't immediately be successful, they shown the door and rarely ever given a second or a third opportunity, while a lot of the white coaches given shit. Rex Ryan, I think that motherfucker coached like teams. A black coach, you'll be hard pressed to find a black coach that will get beyond 2 separate teams to a third team. I don't know a lot of black coaches that coach 3 different football teams. Maybe 2. Like, nigga, you 2 and done. You don't get no 3 strike. But them white boys, they get 3, hell, sometimes 4 as a head coach. It's just crazy. But it's like, we know what it is. So again, I'm not with the identity politics of it. I just want to win. But I also know, I'm like, God damn, him again? Again? Like, what are these motherfuckers doing to be getting 4th and 5th chances?
Let me ask y'all another question. Before you go, I know, Rico, you said you had about an hour in you, so let me ask y'all one more question. Is it fair to ask people to stick with the systems they are building instead of jumping off for more money, resources, access, and power? Is that a fair ask? You're helping us build Jackson State up, Eddie George at Tennessee State. If you're helping us build these programs up, is it fair to ask of them to stick around to help continue to build while we get things in order? I know Mandrell was hard on the systems. Is that a fair ask? Or should it be just however?
I think it's a fair ask. I don't think you can necessarily
expect.
I think it's something that you should. Well, first of all, like if you're a school president and you're saying, "Hey, look, I'm trying to build this program. I'm trying to build for the next 20 years." Obviously, you should go out there and you should be looking for someone who's invested. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for, like, look, I want somebody that's going to be invested in the program. Even if I don't think you're the best coach, I want the person who has the greatest investment. Now, I think when Jackson went looking at Deion, I don't think he told them, I don't know, I wasn't in the meeting. I don't think he told them, oh, I'm going to be here for 100 years or no shit like that. Maybe he did. If he did, then you lied. Then you lied if that's what you said. But if he, if he said, hey, I'm just here to do, that's a fair, because I look at the job I go to. I don't promise them motherfuckers I'm going to be there forever. I'm going to be there longer than bread. Right. Bread ain't right no more. Deuces. You know what I'm saying? But But if you sweet to me, you paying me good, you treating me good, I'm gonna stay. So that's why I said. That's why I said for me, I was like, God, you can't be mad at the bro. You can't be. Like I said, my only thing is like, I wish his son stayed. Fuck it, let Deion go. I don't give a fuck about Deion because he don't strap up and play. That boy should do it. The truth. And I will not. And I'm gonna say that because I think for those programs, even whether it's the basketball, football, or whatever, it's the kids that's going to put them back on top, not the coaches. Fucking Nick Saban can go to them fucking programs. If he can't pull those types of kids, bruh, knock it off. It's them 5 stars. They do it. Deion could pull them. Well, first of all, he brought 2 of them with him.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah. Helps when you birth one and shit. I was saying, helps when you birth one of the 5-star players and shit. So,
but you think it's fair to ask somebody like Deion to help build the system? I know you kind of basically said no in your opening salvo, but don't you think it's a little fair? I mean, we trying to build these schools up, man. They're trying to build their war chest, their endowments. Is it fair to ask them, like, hey, man, we need to stick this out?
It's like with everything. I fall in the middle. I think it is a little bit fair, and then I also understand. It's like, what's the conversation like? What was the conversation y'all had? If y'all didn't have hey, I'm here for the long haul, this, that, whatever. Well, when she decides she want to check out, she can check out. Now, if she committed to be there for the long haul, then I expect you to fucking stay. But the only way I would say this. Our problems are long being created, so it's going to take a long period of time to reset the ship or to right the ship. The failures of HBCUs is not overnight. Like,
right,
man,
that's what I'm saying.
That's
real
why
quick,
man drill. It was a long process and take a lot to fix it.
Now you're right. Now I want to get Yella in on this question too, but it's like that's the thing. If people keep jumping ship, we'll never have any continuity enough to build anything. Like I'm when I was having conversations about the whole pro-black space thing, it was like, but we need to build something sustainable. Like, it's okay to build something that's a flash in the pan. You got a hot year, hot 5 years, hot 10, but what about generational? Like, if we can't build that, then we're playing around. But Yellow, what you think, man?
All right, so I'll say this: is it right to ask? It absolutely is. Like, there's nothing wrong with them or anybody or any of us asking him, man, stay with Jackson State, build Jackson State up to a powerhouse, see if you can elevate them. On the flip side of that coin, nobody got a right to be mad at that man if he say no. And that's the weird part about it. Why he gotta be a sellout? He gotta be turned on his race. He gotta be using Jackson State as a stepping stone. We questioning the man intention, all types of shit. And I'm like, bro, this is exactly why I wouldn't do nothing for you. Y'all don't appreciate shit. That's real ass talk, because he shows right here in less than 48 hours. Now all of a sudden he a turncoat in less than 48 hours.
Well, it only takes a second to turn your coat.
And I hate to say this, because I know I'm gonna trigger this nigga when I say it. But they will support Kanye saying some of the stupidest, dumbest shit. Y'all will support some of these niggas doing and saying some of the dumbest shit, and got the fucking nerve to turn on a black dude who actually elevate not only him, but his kids and several other black people, and including the fucking school he left, because y'all feel like he owe you something.
No pushback, Yella. I'm not triggered. I love it, and I love that statement, and I will support it.
Yella, do me a favor. Point at that.
No pushback, Yella.
You. That Kanye lover next to you. Yeah.
Yeah. See, the thing is, we tout and praise and celebrate nonsense, BS, and trash. And it's to the point where And now places like Jackson State, no, come and help us. He left you in a fantastic position. One man's not going to be able to do it for you. Now, my thing is this. Yeah, well, it's tough for us to recruit. Yes, it's always going to be as long as you're in the SWAC. You can't even compete for a national title. So me as a prospect, what am I going to go for? Especially if I'm going for the best. I'm going for the gusto. I'm going for the place that's going to get the most eyes on me. I'm going to go to this school. I'm going to win a SWAC championship. Or I'm going to go to this school and win a national championship. Which gives me better opportunity. And y'all crying? You're not trying. You don't even compete for. You ain't even positioning You're not even petitioning to compete for a national title. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? They put again these schools. They've kept themselves in these positions, and then they get corrupt leadership, misappropriation of funds, and all kind of shenaniganry going on. And we don't have like Rico said, we don't have the luxury of messing up as much as other schools do. We can't take them chances. You want to skim up the top? All right, wait until we get billions coming in per quarter, like some of these other schools do. You know what I'm saying? Just don't get greedy. But yeah, you can't tell people I'm going to get mine. Where's it? Where's, bruh? Come on. I'm exactly, Yellow. You support Kanye and all this bullshit. He's an embarrassment. You support a guy who actively embarrasses the black community. He seems to go out of his way to go on right wing shows, walking around with a white supremacist right next to him. How are you so racist against black people? You make Alex Jones uncomfortable. A racial embarrassment. And people support him.
Man, I love you.
He's sick. You know, he has bipolar. He needs his medication. Well, then why don't you call him up and tell him to take it?
Mandra, I love you, brother.
Thank you.
I just want to hit that motherfucker in the mouth.
Right, I do too, man. It's just schools in the SWAC. It's a same old trope. They're starting at the back of the line. No matter what they do, you got an uphill battle. So it's time for them to really sit down and strategize and figure out what direction they want to go. You want your athletic program to be better. Okay, we need to sit down and figure out what you need to do to start competing for a national title. Get in on that. You know what I'm saying? Get in on that, number one. Okay, now your book and scope for recruitment wide open. You know what I'm saying? And that would be a better selling point. Okay, you come into a school that's now newly able to compete for a national title. What if I get there? This school was shit when I got there, but by the time I left, we won a national title. We built that. You know, I was a player who was a part of a team that built from the ground up to be in the number one school in the country. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an exciting prospect. That's an exciting selling point. You know, but and now that schools can have to pay players. Spadudios. You thought it was bad before? You around here complaining about money problems? Oh, we can't recruit. You was getting them for free. And you can't recruit. Now you got to pay them.
It's going to get worse.
Exactly. You should have struck while the iron was hot. You're procrastinating and BS and dilly-dallying. The world keeps moving, and we have to move with it.
But what when you can't afford to? That's the question. Like I'm putting on the table.
I don't want to hear it now. I don't want to hear it. Too late.
We got Mandrell. So we just do roll over and die.
Hey, you should have done what you were supposed to do with that money when you had it. Now, again, the world ain't gonna wait for you. The world ain't waiting.
I mean, so
what are we supposed to do? Make more money. Apparently no. Make more money.
Our coaches are leaving. Our players are leaving.
Yeah, because you don't know how to manage money. But my thing is this: it's like, again, it's a shame and it's heartbreaking because most of my family attended HBCUs. Not just my mother, father, and my sister and myself. Well, I'm talking about cousins, aunts, uncles. If it wasn't an HBCU, it was Ivy League. There is no in between in my family.
Okay.
It's either HBCU or Ivy League, period. So, I mean, we support HBCUs heavy. That's just what I come from. So they take their money, they hire poor staff. Instead of giving you a second chance, no, you're fired. Why? You're stealing money. Now get out of here before I call the cops. Me firing you is me going. That's the way it should have been done. Me firing you is the easy route. What I should do is call the cops and have you prosecuted. But no, I don't. Bruh, you can recruit these 5-star athletes for free, and then you crazy. We can't afford them. Oh, well, now you got to pay players. Yeah, now you can have even less money. Okay. What are you going to do now if you couldn't do it for free? I don't want to hear any excuses. You had more than enough time. You had more than enough opportunity. You had it. It isn't fair. Neither is life. You're going to complain about it. You're going to fix it. Sink or swim now.
Jeez.
Hey, all this time, you haven't even petitioned to be able to compete for a national title. Why not?
Don't have the talent. They didn't have the talent.
Talent or not, I mean, neither does Oregon. I mean, a bunch of these other schools that compete for the national title, they don't have talent. There was for years. Alabama had no talent.
Oh,
Auburn had no talent.
What's that team? The Appalachian State.
Right, and then all of a sudden, right, exactly. Like, look at Auburn. Auburn had no talent for years. All of a sudden, Cam Newton gets there.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? Alabama for years had no talent. I think like 92 they won a national title, but up until Nick then for years and years, no talent. All of a sudden Nick Saban pops up.
But look though, man, Drill, like so you take like Cam Newton, right? So now here's another part of the problem too with the HBCU. When a kid is say a 5-star, and like because Cam Newton went to a PWI at first, I think he fucked up, and then he had to go to a JUCO.
Yep.
And you see what I'm saying? So even JUCOs are taking talent from HBCUs.
That's a good point.
These JUCOs is these little Wyoming State, these little football factories. They're not even colleges. They're
little nothing schools. Little nothing schools, yeah.
Little nothing schools, football with a kid. I'm like, oh, that motherfucker taking 2 gymnastic classes and practicing all day. Bullshit.
It is. I'm laughing, but it's true.
That's messed up, man.
It's some fucking strange shit, right? And they're to the point that they're on HBO and then some more shit, right? And I'm like, but guess what? 90% of the team is what? Black kids.
And Netflix. Golly.
And Netflix. 95% of the team is black kids. In North Dakota, Wyoming, all these for these JUCO to get recruited by who? The PWI. So again, even if the first tier talent manages to come from high school, skip over HBCs and go to straight PWI, the second tier talent will go to a JUCO, which is a junior college team, to get ready for a year or two to see how you play, how you act, how your bullshit academics is, to go to a PWI. Because these kids are all coming out of high school with dreams of making it to the NFL. And the vast majority of them won't.
Yeah, that'll work.
Then they go out into the world ill fucking prepared. Right. Academically, certainly, like, dude, if Cam Newton is, you probably like maybe less than 1% of the kids who go through the JUCO route to a PWI make it to an NFL team. 99% of them, it's like, if you went to the JUCO route, your ass just ain't that good.
Yeah.
That's why you in JUCO.
Well,
here's the bullshit JUCO schools all over the country.
Well, here's the thing. You say top tier goes to PWIs. The second tier goes to JUCO. Now my question is, okay, why aren't the HBCUs asking themselves, what are they doing to recruit these kids? And let's not, no need to reinvent the wheel. Let's just see what they're doing. And if it needs tweaking, we'll tweak it a little bit. We'll tweak it a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But let's see what they're doing and do that.
Here's part. No, I'm telling you, man, Drew, what I think part of the problem with the HBCU. Remember, again, I said you go back to the Eddie Robinson days at Grambling. HBCUs didn't have to recruit for black players. They used to get them, right? I think they got fucking comfortable with knowing, I don't have to do it. They just gonna come. And they fell asleep at the wheel when these kids said, hey, we're going to these PWIs, maybe even during the 60s and 70s. I'm going to struggle with some racism, this, that, whatever. I really don't give a shit. And they thought, because first of all, if you were a Howard or a Grambling or, whatever school you were, you had such a wealth of talent. You didn't get, fuck that 20% that we lose. You know what I'm saying? But that 20% quickly become 40%. Then it becomes 60%. Then it becomes 80%. And they never reinvested. I don't think, HBCUs back then, they wasn't investing in athletics because they didn't need to. They were investing in, or what they thought they needed all their money in was academics. Those PWIs looked at that shit and said, hey, I see a fucking gold mine in this athletic shit. They did. They saw the gold mine in the basketball, because remember, even before, if you look at basketball, right, it's NCAA. Before that, you know what the big tournament was? The NIT. They were on TV back in the 50s and 60s doing the National Invitational Tournament at Madison Square fucking Garden. HBCUs thought, we don't need to worry about that shit. We worry about the science club and the math club and this. Like, but you ain't making no fucking money off that shit. Them white dudes
and they're not producing any scientists and mathematicians either.
But those white schools said, shit, we playing in Madison Square Garden, everybody watching on TV, and they paying us fucking money. The blacks, I think that's where we fell down. We didn't see the economics of universities are economic engines. We just didn't see it. And we missed the train. They flex, because if you look at I think like even if you look at like Florida State, it wasn't a powerhouse school. When you look at 50, 60, 70 years ago, it was a little small little fucking state school, and then all of a sudden they started getting into athletics. And the athletic engine funds a lot of these PWIs got big off of athletics. You would look at like A&M and even a lot of these, A&M is the HBCU, but I'm saying a lot of the PWIs, if you look at the history of the PWIs, they wasn't shit in the 50s and 60s. But athletics done made them become multi-billion-dollar industry. Texas A&M. Texas A&M, which is a PWI. They wasn't shit. Even the University of Texas wasn't that big. But athletics has made them become multi-billion-dollar universities. So now the athletics is funding the academics. HBCUs kept thinking academics were going to fund the athletics. Bro,
they bought the lot.
It was a mistake. Heart was in the right place. They just didn't see.
Let me get Yellow in real quick, man. Where you at with it, bro?
I'm trying to catch the question coming back around.
Man, how can we fight for resources and brain power when we don't have any money in the community? How are we going to grow if we can't afford to pay attention?
I don't know, man. That's it. Shit, I don't know.
Bake sale.
I don't know.
Car wash.
It's an honest answer. I mean, Dr. Umar, donation.
Right.
We got 100. Everybody's watching this on the replay right now. Send $100 to Jed.
Yep, you start with your local streamer, goddammit. Send Einstein $20. You know what I'm saying? Hit the cash app. That's a good way to start, goddamn. Shit, I don't know. Because that's all gonna take funding. And I ain't that well versed in capitalism and economics and those type of issues like that, I'll just say this. And image is nothing. Image is nothing. Thirst is everything. Drink Sprite.
I knew you was gonna say that.
I mean, it's the truth.
You ain't even make money.
Man,
You advertise for part and then you make money on it.
Right.
I mean, I drink. I mean, yeah, but Sprite is awesome.
It is.
Stand people.
I gotta say, Rico hit a bullseye tonight. Like,
Yeah.
like you know, black colleges focus on academia, which is important. But what they did, because they didn't think that only a few kids, especially at that time, were going to qualify for college scholastically.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have time to study. You know what I'm saying? They had to help their parents make money. You know what I'm saying? They had to work. So, and to develop a trade or a skill. So only a few kids were going to college. And white people looked at this and said, hey, look at all these kids out here being left behind by black people. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that dude there can run real fast. That one there can run real fast. Hey, boy, catch this ball.
Yeah.
Look how that boy catch that ball. Hey, boy, come and run down the court real quick so he can put it through this hoop. And they recruited. He's right. They recruited hand over fist.
Look at that nigga jump.
Exactly.
And even started lowering their what is that?
The qualifications, curriculums, qualifications. And then here's the thing. White people are willing to cheat. They padded those kids' grades. Because let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these guys, even these athletes today would tell you, man, I ain't go to class.
No, man, drill.
I go to class. They get B's.
Man, drill. I'm a Washington Commander fan. And prior to that, they were the Washington Redskins. One of our greatest players was Dexter Manley.
Mm-hmm.
That nigga got through college, couldn't read or write. If you watch, this is no exaggeration. Wow. He literally was saying he was in college. They were taking the test. They was doing everything. He was like, I would go to the restaurants and I would order off the menu, off the pictures. And, he ended up, with a drug habit and everything. He's in the Washington Redskins Hall of Fame, this, that, and everything else. He's not in the Hall of Fame, but I think he
Ring of Honor.
For the Super Bowl teams. Dexter Manley. Look up the history of Dexter. Illiterate all the way through college. Got a 4-year fucking degree and can't read or write.
Right.
That motherfucker played football. And he went to a PWI.
Yep, and see, white people are willing to cheat.
He went to a PWI.
And the thing is, for us,
he was a fucking monster.
There's some things that we're gonna need to do as well. Like they're patting these kids' grades. Mm-hmm. Guess what, HBCUs? Guess it look like you gonna have to do.
Yeah.
You want to compete? Okay, it's like this. Like I practice Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, right? Now in these tournaments, I've been lifting weights since I was 14. All right, and in these tournaments, these white kids come in there jacked, and you look at them, just looking at their bodies, this dude's juicing. You know what I'm saying? I know this guy. Look at him. You can tell someone's juicing, right? That means doing steroids. Everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
They cheat to do it. They come in there strong, and here I am. I'm twice their age. I'm still beating them. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, because I had a head start, I actually earned mine the long way. You know what I'm saying? Which is always better. Those shortcuts don't really work, but these kids are willing to cheat to get to the top. You know what I'm saying? And what?
If you want to compete,
you got to cheat. Hey, listen, everybody. If you want to compete, you got to cheat. Here's what he used to tell us in the Army. In the Army, he used to tell us, hey, you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah.
They used to say that literally. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
But your ass better not get caught.
Yeah, just don't get caught. That's it.
You better not get caught.
But you do need to cheat though, because everybody else is.
But your ass better not get caught.
But just don't get caught. That's it.
If you get caught, the consequences is worse than cheating. If you get,
I didn't know he cheated, because what they're gonna do is, I didn't know. When they ask them questions, hey, you soldier this, what he did? What? I didn't know. Meanwhile, that's the guy who handed you the answer key.
I was in the Army. My
you know what I'm saying?
Cheating before.
You know what I'm saying? Look, Rico, right? And look, then when they ask you, the person, your squad leader, hey, did you know he cheated? He did.
Yeah.
Oh, what? What did he do? What? Meanwhile, that's the guy who handed you the answer key. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, your job is to not get caught.
Get caught.
That's it. Pass this test and don't get caught. That is it.
Caught. You get caught as hell.
They're gonna, hey, I can't, hey, you got caught, man. I can't help you. And that's understandable. To me, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. If you're gonna run the risk of cheating, don't get caught. If you get caught,
you gotta take it.
You gotta take it. Those are the consequences.
Coming. Yeah. They got this.
Yeah. And yes, Arshawn, to answer your question from earlier, it is fair to ask him to stay and help them build what he started. It is fair.
Excellent.
Not fair for you to expect him to stay, but it is fair to ask.
So speaking on that question, Mandra, do you think it's fair if I come to you and I'm trying to hire you as my coach, for me to make that part of the conversation and say, hey, Mandrell, I'm not hiring you. We're not, because people have been talking for the last 2 years. Is Jackson State just a leg up? So I don't even know why they act like it was right. I'm like, they've been talking about Deion going to a PWI for the last 2 years. Why the fuck are they acting like it's shocked that it finally happened? That he used Jackson State as a step up. And he pretty much said so, but is it fair if I come to you and say, look, I want to know, are you committed for the long haul in the interview? Because now, because when I'm interviewing, I might think you the best coach, but if you don't make me think that you here for the long haul, fuck that. I'm going to push you to the side. Now I'm going to look at Yellow or I'm going to look at Arshawn, because that's more important, because that's one of the criteria that's a higher on my grade. Who wants to come here and be here with the long haul? Well, Mandrell got a better coaching record, but Yellow's more committed. Those are sort of the things. On regular jobs, people, ask you questions like that. And that's what I was asking.
Yeah, I mean, that's understandable. Totally understandable. You want someone who's going to be there. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's fair to do. And like you said, in a job interview, it's fair to ask, are you here for the long haul? And if that person says, well, I'm just here for a stepping stone, it's fair for you to give him his outright release.
Right. You hope they don't lie to you, right?
Yeah, you hope they don't. You know what I'm saying? Anyone can say anything in an interview.
I'm going to stay forever. And then 30 days later, here's my 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's right. You hope he stays, but
if you want to cheat, you got to cheat. You going to tell them whatever they want to hear?
You got to cheat.
Which is true. I know that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me ask y'all my last question for tonight. I have 2 more questions on this, and I know Mandrell wanted to talk about Kanye. We had a great conversation the other day, Rico, and I know overall, let's talk to Better Black Life tomorrow. What time, Rico? Do you know?
No, I don't. But I'll let you know. I don't know. I think I don't know exactly. I don't know.
Oh, is Brother Clarence talking about Kanye West?
Yeah, we did the other day. Yeah, it was interesting.
It got crazy the other day. I was like, I'm in Mandrell camp on Kanye.
Yeah. So we're gonna come back to that because that Vidogo, whatever, that guy is crazy. Yeah. But Prime, he mentioned making people comfortable with blacks. Is that our job to teach other races through exposure? During that little video when we first started, he said yes so fast.
What do you mean? Of course it is. No one else is gonna do it. They don't even like us. They don't like us and they don't even know us. Keep in mind, like at any given time, black people have the advantage since the beginning. Because here's the thing. Here's why I say that. In order to get, even back in the day, in order to get a loan, you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, you want to get a job, black people have always had to go to white people. We've had to learn about them. We've had to study them. We've had to understand how to make them comfortable, what makes them pissed off, what makes them not, how to de-escalate with them. We've had to learn and study them, whereas they don't need us for anything. So they've never need to learn anything about us. So they've never bothered. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's up to us. They put a lot of effort into tarnishing our image and making us look like the big bad wolf and something that's far worse than we actually are. But they're not going to do anything to help us fix our image that they themselves destroy. That's the reality of it. So that's the reality that we have to live with. So yes, it's up to us because no one else is going to do it. So
no, I appreciate that answer. I respect it. I was like, man, he's answered that so quick. But I hear your point. That does make sense. I don't like feeling like the responsibility's on us, but you're right. Nobody else is going to do it. Nobody's going to give us a fair shake if we've already had our image tarnished. So, man, I hate that it would have to be on us, but
I hate it too. But it's just the sad reality of our situation. We didn't, I like a lot of time, effort, and money went into destroying our image.
So ask me the question again, so I can just make sure I understand it.
Deion said during his, and then just like that little 2-minute clip I played. He also, among other things that he mentioned, he talked about he'll be able to, show people something different so that they're more comfortable with us. He can be there to, be a light or whatever. I can't remember his verbiage, but if I'm out here in Boulder, Colorado, if people see me, they see these black kids, they'll have less stigma attached. There'll be less stigma. They'll see us operate with professionalism and all that good stuff. So they'll be less hesitant around black people going forward. But is that our job to make other people more comfortable with us? Or is it on them to alleviate their ignorance?
Okay, yeah. So I understand a little bit better. I do agree with Mandrill, and
Hey, real quick, let me see. Hey, Yellow, you wanted to say peace out real quick?
Oh,
or you got a dip it? Yeah, you said you got a dip.
Yellow?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I appreciate you for coming up, man. Go ahead and peace us out, and I appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Shout out to the chat, everybody that showed up for watching. Shout out to Rico. Shout out to Mandrill. And of course, as always, shout out to the host, the moderator, our Shine, Critically Drinking. And make sure y'all following them everywhere you can find them. Critically Drinking is what it is, and it do what it do. I'm out, people. Peace.
Peace. Woohoo. All right. Appreciate that. My fault, yeah, Rico. You were saying? If you remember.
No, I'm going to say I definitely agree with Mandrill, maybe for a different reason, but I definitely agree with him 100%. And I'll say this, I'll start too, is that you paraphrasing what Deion said. I don't know if he's going to be successful at it in Colorado, but it still doesn't mean he's not responsible for trying, because Colorado's pretty damn white. But you know what I'm saying? You got to try. And I say it in the same way, like, Mandrill being a former Army member, and I was in the military too, was that it's no different than women. So we're men. So even in the military, right? Like a lot of times guys in the military would go in with a preconceived notion. Oh, these women can't do this. They can't do that. And it's on women. And so I'm just looking at it in the gender basis that all of a sudden, if you've been in the military and you've worked around certain women, you're like, oh, they are capable of doing things that maybe I had a preconceived notion that they couldn't do. And I would have never came to that conclusion unless I was in an environment working with certain women, them showing that, hey, look, I'm not saying they can do the same thing that a man can do. I ain't even talking this equality shit. But it's like, oh, in the face of battle, this, that, whatever, they're not going to crumble and cry. They're not going to do what maybe I thought they were going to do. So you don't know about a lot of communities until you experience time around those communities. So I do think that, unfortunately, most of us live in segregated spaces. We know that. Men among men, black among blacks, white among whites, so on and so forth. So until you have a decent enough experience around a different community, people don't go out. We don't go outside of our segregated spaces to investigate, is what I'm saying. It takes things from outside of our segregated spaces to come in. Then our lazy asses get off and decide we're going to investigate. Black people do the same thing. White people do the same thing. Asian people do the same thing. If Asian people want to know about black people, most of them don't go outside of Asian spaces to discover that. They wait until a black person comes into that space and they go, oh, all of y'all not gangsters. But up until that point, they continue to carry around with those same stereotypes, and everybody does it. White people, Asian, Hispanic, men, women, gay, straight, everybody sit back and we believe all the stereotypes about the others because we don't oftentimes spend enough time. We'll go outside to go to work, and then we run back home to our segregated spaces. So yeah, but I don't think he's going to be successful. I just don't.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Let me ask you guys this last question before we switch over real quick. Cause I really want to. I just tripped me out. The Mandrell feels so much venom for Kanye, and you want to punch him in the face. I don't know what's wrong with you. Now he's problematic. But let me ask you this last question.
Problematic.
Prime said he isn't leaving black. He's just leaving Jackson State.
Yeah.
Is his impact as effective as it would be at an HBCU? Will he have the same type of or level of impact for the black community since he's not leaving black? Will he have the same level of impact as he would if he had helped build up an HBCU?
Yeah, because it'd be even better, especially if he turns that school around. They win a title. Because what's he gonna do? The best he could do at Jackson State is win the swag. That's the ceiling. The swag. Something nobody watches. Most people don't even know exists.
Yeah, I know.
To this day, most people don't even know what the SWAC is. Okay? It's the vast majority. There are black people who don't know what the SWAC is.
You right.
Fully grown black people, no clue what the SWAC is. So, yeah, right. So, that's the best he can do at Jackson State. With the SWAC. Hey. Now, if he goes to Colorado, turns that school around, okay. He took that school from nothing to a national championship. Wow. A black coach did that.
To a national championship.
If he did it, that'd be a miracle.
I'm saying, yeah. If he did that, a black coach did that with a black quarterback. Where's your argument now? Because remember, Rico's old enough to remember with Doug Williams. He wins the Super Bowl. After that, hey, yeah, thanks, but take a hike.
Yeah.
You really saw nothing, you know what I'm saying? Not giving up a proper opportunity again. Listen, they used to say black men weren't competent enough to be quarterback. They didn't look right as a quarterback. All of these nonsensical reasons why they kept us out of that position, right? Warren Moon, when he came from the CFL to the NFL, they were switching to wide receiver. He won 5 titles as a quarterback in the CFL.
Gilliam, Randall Cunningham. There were so many.
They tried to switch the positions to like wide receiver or something like that, right? But now, if that were to happen, if Deion and his son were to turn that school around, so even the title contender, where's your excuse now?
And for me, that's what I think his national championship is to make a contender, not even for the national championship. Oh, okay. They're in one of the major 6 bowl games. They win 10 games because Colorado just really is some shit.
It is.
So they don't have to win a national championship. They are
terrible. Just be a contender.
Are they expanding the playoffs soon? I heard they were expanding the playoffs soon.
I don't care if they expand it. Colorado ain't making it.
I mean, if they expand it to 12, they're talking about expanding it to 12.
They can expand it to 90, Colorado.
Yeah, he's right. Colorado is a nothing team, dude.
In 2 to 3 years? In 2 to 3
years? Nothing team.
No, they are bad.
Oh, man.
But he's right. They are. Yeah. Now, what Primetime's going to do is possibly bring better recruitment to the school.
Right.
Because people want to play for Deion. Now, I'm old enough to remember Deion when he played for the Atlanta Falcons. You know what I'm saying? I remember watching him on TV, playing for the Atlanta Falcons, and he was the greatest quarterback ever. He also played for the Atlanta Braves at the same time. That was the crazy part.
I'm going to throw out a question. Somebody tell me the last star that you can remember from the Colorado Buffaloes.
Cordell Stewart.
There it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know how long ago it's been since Cordell Stewart?
In a minute. That was the 90s, wasn't it?
If you ask most people on the chat, they'll remember Cordell Stewart from the Real Housewives of Atlanta because he was fucking around with one of them housewives.
Yeah, I remember him from the Steelers.
Yes, but he played for the Colorado Buffalo.
Yeah, he did.
That was like in the 80s, maybe early 90s, whatever.
And before that, it was Flutie, wasn't it?
Huh?
Before that, it was Flutie, wasn't it?
Flutie was in Boston College.
Okay.
He didn't play for Colorado.
Okay. So I can't even remember who was before then. That's been crazy.
Stewart might be the only star
Buffalo that I can think of. Man, that's the person I can think of.
They have been terrible
for a long time.
They wasn't good when he was there. He was good.
I'm with Rico. I don't think there's any hope for that team. Like Primetime's gonna get there, he's gonna get paid, and that's gonna be about it.
But I figured like make 500, that'll be good. And that's my
Rico set the bar so low.
They are bad.
Rico said maybe make 500, that'll be good. Make 500, Rico. Dang. He set the bar so low.
And I can't blame Deion for it. The school is fucking horrible.
It is. And I can't argue. That's the bad part. I got no pushback. I can't. Ain't like I can say something to him.
Like
it's true.
They be losing to the military academies.
Right.
Army and Air Force be kicking their ass. I'm like, dude, okay.
Yeah, the only other person I can find whose name I know off the top of my head, like actually did something in college, was Rashawn Salam, but in the pros,
shit, he
Philip
did.
Lindsay.
Rashawn Salam lasted one season and he was out.
Yeah,
that was it. Cordell Stewart had a career. He had a 8, 9, 10-year career with Pittsburgh because he was doing the whole slash thing. He was quarterback, this and all that.
Wide receiver, running back, all that. Yeah. And then he went to another team after that.
Nothing else came out of Colorado but some shit. It's just like, okay. But he got to take the job, so I don't blame him for it. I don't blame him. But that's just us doing our college football fanaticism. And it's just like, they're bad.
They are.
They're bad.
They're horrible. Now, like I said, listen, I mean, it will have an impact if he is successful there.
Mm-hmm.
If he's somehow successful there, it will have a huge, tremendous impact. That's going to be an almost impossible challenge, though. Because you haven't heard anything from Colorado in how long? Like, you had never, except for when they're losing. They don't even make highlights.
And you know,
they don't even make ESPN highlights. I mean,
if he get them 9 wins, he might be fucking coach of the year. If he get 8 wins, he might be because I'm like, it's just that bad of a program.
Yeah, Rico set that bar low, bro. Rico said maybe make 500. I mean, that'd be pretty good for them. That'd be pretty good. I'll make 500.
And it's like it's that bad of a program. So it's just tough. Deion, I think if anybody can do it, can do it. But it's like when people talk about national championship, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It ain't. I agree, Rico. It ain't likely to happen, like at all. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying. I'm thinking in a fantastical world, hypothetical world. You know what I'm saying? Like if he were to somehow wave a magic wand and make something happen there, that would be a huge, huge, huge impact.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He went to Jackson State, which is a nothing team in the SWAC.
Right. And he turned somewhere. But that was that was an easier lift because again,
it's in the SWAC.
HBCU, it's the SWAC. You're but I'm like, no, Colorado gotta play them PWI teams. I'm sorry. No. So you on mute, Arshawn.
I said, and that they're in the same division as Utah, who just won the whole conference. So they
works off of I think USC, right?
USC.
USC Saturday. Utah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I guess I gotta ask this question, man. To open the door to the next topic, I gotta ask this question. Why do Mandrell and Rico hate Kanye so much when Kanye even loves Hitler? How could y'all possibly hate him so much when he even loves Hitler?
You go first, Rico. My sister's calling me. You go first, Rico.
Okay, I'll go first. And I'm going to say this again. And it's funny that you brought this up, and I had the earlier conversation even earlier, is again,
Absolutely.
I just want somebody to tell me, what has Kanye done for black people? I just want to know. No. I don't say that with any criticism, because I said this. I was like, well, maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed the memo, the rally, whatever, where all of a sudden he did this social justice thing. Because again, when I was asking the conversation from this stream the other day, it's like, I feel like people are being triggered to defend him because he's black. And I'm like, okay, I'm with that. I don't want to see a black man be unjustly accused or something. But when I look back at the timeline of what his grievance is, I'm like, I keep hearing a personal issue. Because even before, so I'm like, okay, all of this happened in the span of 2022. This is not 2021, 2020, this, that, whatever. Because I was like, the last time I checked, if I look at it, if I'm not mistaken, January 1, 2022, Kanye was winning. That nigga was worth $2 billion. So that's a win to me. Is that a W or L? Somebody explain to me. I'm slow and stupid.
I guess winning is shit. Nothing else.
Financially, that nigga was winning. And he was doing work with Adidas. He was doing work with the Gap, Balenciaga, all the shit that he wanted to do with it. He was having personal issues with the white woman. Once again, we over here. Black folk, we over here. He over there. Okay, fine. I don't have no problem with that. That's fine. That's his issue. So he started going through those little personal traumas that we all go through. Even black folk go through. We go through. Black men and black women go through with their wives. Hispanic. Everybody go through that shit. That's normal shit.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, somewhere in the earlier part of the year, I started hearing him have a grievance with Gap. And I think the public grievance everybody heard was how he wanted his clothes in trash bags or some stupid shit. Yeah. I was like, they put some stupid shit. But I'm like, I hear a business grievance. That grievance is a business grievance. I'm still not hearing no social justice. I'm still not hearing any black grievance. I'm not hearing any of that. Any of it.
Yeah.
Somebody tell me what I'm missing. Then at some point, him and Gap fell out. And Gap was like, fuck you. We're not putting our shit in trash bags or whatever their grievance was. Gap said, we're not going to bend to your will. It's going to be our way. He fell out and he started going public with his grievance with Gap. Again, it's a business grievance. He started going public. The Gap, they trying to knock me down, my creativity. I'm like, what the fuck? I ain't buying into that ugly shit, no way. I think that your fashion sense, that's just me. It's horrible. The shoes is, if nothing else, I think all the shit is overpriced. Even if I thought it looked good. Even if I thought it looked good, it's overpriced. So then that business decision fell apart, right? Right? Then all of a sudden, he had the issue with, he started going, when that blew about, all of a sudden he started bringing up all the whole Jewish thing. And I'm like, but they was Jews when you went into business with them. And I don't think you found out afterwards, right? You knew before. So I'm just trying to think through, like, what the fuck is all the grievance about? And all I'm saying is this. Why do I think he's causing such a stir? I think that motherfucker's mentally unbalanced, to be honest with you. Because here's the one thing, and I'll throw a question out to everybody. I've seen a lot of people lose money in business over the years, white, black, Asian, Latino, whatever.
Absolutely.
Can somebody tell me who's ever lost $1 billion by talking? Because the FTX guy, he was cheating and stealing. Most of the people I know who've lost money, they lost money No, I'm not saying to answer the question because I don't know why he's causing the stir. Okay, so the question is, if who's done nothing? If Kanye's done nothing?
Kanye, yeah.
I don't know what he's done. I asked the question, what has he done for us? I want you to tell me, Sister Indy, what has he done that we should be taking up arms for him? That's what I don't know. It's a question, not an answer. I'm not saying he hasn't done anything. I'm saying the only thing I heard somebody say was he gave $2 billion to the Floyd family. I heard somebody say that. And I'm saying, I'm admitting I don't know what he's done. That's the $64 question. So we're taking up arms in defense of his right to say Hitler was this, and all these other things. My question is why? I'm not saying he don't have a right to do it. I'm saying, why are we in defense of it? Because I heard somebody talk about, I think somebody earlier, they talked about, oh, Harry Belafonte. I'm like, Harry Belafonte was marching with Martin Luther King. He was giving his money for social justice, civil rights movement. He was jeopardizing getting beaten, this, that, and whatever. I'm asking if he means nothing to many. I don't think he, I guess I'm asking the question wrong. If he means, I don't think he means nothing. I'm just saying, it's like, what are we investing in? Are we investing in a good cause, or are we investing in just black? You see what I'm saying? It's like, what is Kanye that we're so invested in?
Kanye is not black.
Hang on, man, bro.
Okay.
I literally want to know, what are we investing in? So when I sit there and I think about, if I see a black man being unjustly accused of something, and he's someone who's standing for a cause, a righteous cause, I'm not investing in him because he's black. I'm investing in the righteousness of his cause. I'm trying to figure out, what the fuck is Kanye's cause? He pointed out something that I knew before he pointed it out.
Right. Nothing new.
That's all I'm saying.
There's nothing new about what he said.
It was like that's where I'm baffled. I'm like, the Jews from the world. That's 100 years old. What the fuck are you? That's the hill we supposed to die on. That's the hill we supposed to rush up and get slayed by machine gun fire, because you just now figured it out. When the rest of us already knew.
Hey, stop smiling so hard.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not even saying what I'm saying is this, Arshawn. I'm not even saying Kanye's wrong. But I'm like, you can't tell me something I knew 20 years ago and I'm supposed to get excited about it.
You're not saying he's wrong?
I'm saying that information is 20 years fucking old.
Older than that, actually, Arshawn.
Hey.
Talking about, his claims? His claims are old?
Rico's being nice. Rico's being nice.
That's all I'm saying.
So the claims he's making are old claims.
So why are you bringing
super old
now that we're supposed to get so bent out of shape about it?
Okay. Yes. No. I'll wait my turn.
Go ahead.
First of all, Mandrill, the glee that Mandrill had on his face a minute ago was so ridiculous. But I want to address these questions.
Ridiculous.
I honestly think what to answer both questions at the same time. It's not that he definitely probably has not done a lot for the black community.
It's probably not a lot.
But as far as a lot of people, his celebrity and his music has spoken to them in a specific way. People
in what way?
Listen, I know people.
Scoop-dee whoop-dee doop-dee doopity doo. Scoop-dee whoop-dee doopity doo. Scoop-dee poop-dee poopity poop. Yeah, that speaks to people. The soft brain, the smooth brain is soft-headed.
But do you know why he did that?
Mandrill, I feel the
to prove that people would buy anything.
I get you.
No, has to be.
I get you,
No.
Arshawn. There's a community that just feels like their life was changed by listening to what he said.
Absolutely.
I'm not a part of it. Mandrell's not a part of it because I agree. It's like, I don't get it, but I accept the fact that there's a community out there that exists that he moved them in a way that I don't quite understand. I accept that.
So now listen, then that song that Mandrell keeps citing, that was a part of a beef with another rapper. So he bought that beat that was supposed to be for another rapper, and then did all that stupid stuff on it to prove a point.
What
that
point
he
was
had that I can take what's yours. So I mean, this is where karma comes in.
Okay, cool. Arshawn, you see what just happened here? All the exposition you had to give me for me to understand the context, get the context. Yeah, that's not in the song.
that's the point.
If had you not told me that, I never would have known.
But that's
and no one that I know, even the people who like that stupid song, knew what you just told me. So what impact could it possibly have?
It wasn't for us. It was for the guy who's beats though. That was like
right. He went through all that effort, blew all that money.
Let me
just because of a beef, just because of a stupid beef.
But let me ask you a question.
And that's to be touted as a.
Nobody said that. You just added extra to it. No, I'm just telling you what it is. Like the reason is not an excuse. I'm just giving you the reason.
All right, because
it's stupid and petty.
Let me ask you a question though. So and I agree with you. Like music has a way of speaking to the soul and the spirit of a group of people in the 50s and the 60s and so forth. However, right? Okay. But what I'm sitting there saying is so Kanye is not the first singer or the first songwriter to sit there and put pen to word to music to elicit a response from people.
And Kelly.
Right. No, many.
Now listen. Lots of people still defend R. Kelly.
Sure. Listen,
I'm saying it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter what the person does.
Sure.
If somebody likes your music, somebody will support you. Doesn't matter what you do.
I'm not talking about people that's supporting them. I'm not talking about them having a group of their diehard supporters because I know they exist. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to sit there and say, even when I have the conversation with their supporters, I'm like, you can support a person, but it's like, I'm trying to figure out, why are these people so fervent that we all as a Black collective should be defending Kanye?
Now let me answer that a different way.
I'm trying to figure out, like,
let me answer that a different way. I'm gonna tell you because this probably isn't even about Kanye. What you're talking about with that question is probably not even about Kanye, because I don't like Kanye, but I'm gonna tell you exactly. So that part right there, and I'm gonna tell you because I feel that one too. I feel that very same way, but I don't care to defend Kanye. Like truthfully, like I did that the other day because you was like, can't nobody defend Kanye, so I'm like, oh, let me go do it. But the issue is there is a very strong what do you call that? Double standard going on right now, where you can say anything about Black people, but you can't say the slightest thing about a whole lot of other groups. So there's like a little, like y'all talked about identity politics. There's an identity jealousy, like because what's even as high up as Dave Chappelle is, he talked about the same thing, going into somebody's office and he could say nigga, but he said something about gay or something, and they were like, no, you can't do that. It was a gay or transgender. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he gave the thing like,
I know the story. I saw him say that, talk about that, yeah. And incidentally, Denzel said the same thing. He went in to audition for a role, and they were talking about what they might have the character do, some stuff they're going to write in. And said it's supposed to be a comedy, right? And he said, yeah, and you can have have a noose, he's gonna put the rope around your neck and get ready to hang you and blah blah blah. He said, oh yeah. This I said, oh yeah, I get it. So it's kind of like we take a bunch of Jewish people, put them in a room to shower, but turns out it's not a shower, it's gas. It's not water that comes out the shower, it's gas. There's like, they're like, oh, he said, oh, that's right, that's not funny. Just say you put a noose around my fucking neck isn't funny. He said, mother effing neck isn't funny. And so that's why I rock with Denzel. Like, listen, my sister is the same way. That's why I think that's one of the reasons why she's not a huge superstar. She's a working actress, but she's not A-list. You know what I'm saying? Because there are certain roles throughout her life she just will not take. Like something that's explicitly sexual, she won't take those. Sex scenes, she won't take those. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's been offered quite a few times to do take roles, you know, sit through a movie, but it has a sex scene. She's like, my mama gonna see that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, because I remember her, like, she got over those roles, she would call me up, ask me for my opinion. I'd say, you know, I support you, right? Yeah. You know, me and mama, we're gonna see this film, and you know, all the family and friends that we're all gonna see this. Now, if you can live with that, okay. But you do know that we're gonna see that, right?
Well, call me next time. Like,
you know, so much. Like, you know, we're gonna see that, right? You know, so she's like, yeah, I know. All right, hey, make a decision from there. If you can live with it, I can. Say, if you can live with it, I can too.
But here's the question, though, right? So, and I hear that argument, like you said, and say this, and that's the position. But what's the opposite position to the, oh, everybody can say this about us, but we can't say anything about anybody else? What's the opposite position? Why can everybody say everything about us? Why don't we, you know, because if you hear all these other groups refuse to accept it, whether it's the LGBT, the alphabet group, or the J group, or other group, is it their fault for, you know what I'm saying? Is it their fault for standing in defense of themselves, or is it our fault for not standing in defense of ourselves? You know what I'm saying?
We stand in defense of ourselves. We just don't have the power. We just don't have power because it's not people. Black people have been trying to advocate on behalf of trying to stop rap music. There have been black people who have been trying to stop a lot of the video games. There have been black people who have been trying to. There were black people that got the crime bill, the 1994 crime bill that like did a whole lot of damage in our community. There were black leaders that were trying to push that, thinking we have to do something to save our community. So black people, black political, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, those are leaders.
Hold up. But if we're stepping up and asking for help, and we don't have the power to help ourselves, we don't have the police, we don't have the judges, we don't have the lawyers, we don't have the funds, we don't have the military, we don't have that. So if there are problems in our community and we have no control over the community and we ask for help and it's rescinded, we don't get it. And we're not allowed to do a lot of this stuff ourselves. We don't control the distribution of music, the rap music, where the N-word is proliferating. We don't control the movies where the N-word is perpetuated and proliferated. We don't control the mechanisms of that thing that y'all earlier said. The image, you said yourself, our image was tarnished by someone else.
It was.
We didn't control that. If we didn't control that, we can't also fix it unless y'all do like y'all said about what y'all say about Deion. He can try to, we can try to take on the role of exposure, but that's a one person at a time.
But
what's this got to do with Kanye, Arshawn?
Well, let me ask you. We can go back to Kanye. Right? But here's
it's not.
Here's the specific question, Arshawn. So I get everything that you're saying, and I agree with 1,000%.
I don't.
So how is the solution? No, how is the solution saying, okay, I'm going to demonize another group so just like they can talk shit about black people, I'm going to talk shit about the alphabet community. I'm going to talk shit about the Jacob. That's not a solution for us. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where I'm also a little bit lost. It's like, okay, I get it. If you want to say they got power and we don't, how are we getting power by just dragging them down to where we are, where they can be, where they can be discriminated against, this, that, whatever. And I'm not saying that. I think we shouldn't be is the solution, not that they should be. But I see in our community, there's a large group that be like, oh, we getting shitted on. Let them get shitted on. I'm like, but that's not lifting us up. So if we're in poverty and I drag the people below us down into poverty, now, nigga, we all poor. So fucking what? I hope you feel good about yourself. I'm not saying that it's fair that they're not, but I'm saying it's not making me feel better in any way if I drag another group into the same levels of despair that I'm at. If I want equality, I want us to be lifted up, not for someone else to be pulled down. That's where I see the vein of, it's like, look, what are you asking for? You want the J people to be talked about? You want the alphabet people to talk about? The fuck, we still being talked about. We still in last place. So what?
Ain't no so what.
There's
no so what.
What is the point if all you're doing is pulling people down with you if you're not pulling yourself up? That's where I'm lost.
Well, my thing is this. My thing is this with it. All right. I'm with Arshawn with the double standard wholeheartedly, because the fact of the matter is we can get on YouTube here and say the nigga all the live long day. Nigga. White people can say it, Asian people can say it, no matter what nationality, they can say it, and no one's gonna say a word. But as soon as I refer to a member of the a male member of the LGBTQ community as the F word, all hell breaks loose. Or if I just say Jews, I'm like, no, but that's what you are, though. No, you can't say that. Why? That's like me saying I'm black. I am. You're a member of the Jewish community, are you not? You can't say that. What? Well, what am I supposed to call you? Hebrew? No. Well, see, we're not. Then they get into a religious discussion with you. Oh, not technically, we are Hebrews, yes, but you can't. Wait, dude. Find a designation so that I can call you, and then let's move on. You know what I mean? It's just like there's all. If you look at the definition of anti-Semitism, you can't you can't do anything. Like anything is anti-Semitic. By that definition, anything is anti-Semitism towards them, right? It's like, yo, you can't. Okay, I guess you can, but still, I'm not going to respect that at all. But, you know, the thing is, we have always been the low-hanging fruit. We're the easy victims because we were already there. You know what I'm saying? Capitalism by design is going to create a lower, middle, and upper class. By sheer architecture, by existing, it's going to create that. Mm-hmm. When all the dust settled, we were already at the bottom. So it was nothing to just keep us there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of propaganda came up to keep us there because you had to convince the public that we were there for, and it's our fault. Ain't nobody else's fault but ours, which isn't true. Right. Which is not true. Okay. But I want to get back to Kanye before I miss a point. Listen. Why people like this soft shoe tap dancing buffoon? I don't know. He does nothing but it bothers me because it speaks to our character as a people. Like, this is what he needs support. No, he's doing it to himself. And like Rico said, he's done absolutely nothing to help the black community. Nothing. You know, his contributions to the black community, he gets rich, marries a white woman, okay? Something that he says you shouldn't do in his songs, which makes him a hypocrite. And I love to see a hypocrite burn, Arshawn. I love it. I love to watch a hypocrite burn. Love it. My sister and I both do. We love to watch a hypocrite burn. Okay?
No, not shoe.
A hypocrite? Yes. We love to watch a hypocrite. But the thing is, hypocrites bring it on themselves. That's why. Like, no, bro, you really have no one to blame. You did that. So it's like, right. But she doesn't hate Kanye the way I do, but she has no respect for him, nor love for him. She's like, you know, she's way nicer about it than I am, but we're of the same mind. Just like, no, Kanye's not the guy, you know? So he's done nothing for the black community, but people love him because of his music. Same thing with R. Kelly. We saw the tape. Well, I saw the tape. A couple of them. That, you know, the infamous tape. I did, Arshawn, and that was R. Kelly. And now the one tape.
I thought too.
Yeah, now, Rico, one tape, I'll say this. If he didn't already know her age, I could understand him being confused about that one.
That nigga knew.
Or not knowing. But that other one, that other one, it's like, bro.
That nigga knew.
You knew.
That nigga knew.
Now, bro, you didn't have to. There's another one, Arshawn. Like, it's like, you didn't have to know that chick's age. You knew better than that. You like the other one that's like, that's obvious. You knew better than that now. But on Rico, he knew her age. And so because he made music that people love so much, people support him. And here's a man who's a pedophile and a weirdo, a sadomasochist. You know what I'm saying? All the horror stories that women have about him, and women still go to him and want to sleep with him. I don't understand it. So it does. So it does do the question, like, okay, what is it about us that we tout bullshit and people who are clearly unworthy of praise or support? We support that, but we don't support Neil deGrasse Tyson. You know what I'm saying? We don't support black people when they try to open up a business. Like Ice Cube tried to do that contract with Black America. Black women shot it down. And there's so many things that black men have tried to do, but black women come behind us and shut it down. There's nothing in there for us. It says it's for black people. No, but there's nothing in there for black women. Yes, there is. It's for black people. That includes you too. No, there's nothing in there. It's like we the whole Willie Lynch thing, it worked. It was a success. And the sad part is today, looking at today, I say within the past 10 years, 10, 15 years or so, probably longer, no one's had to oppress us. We do it to ourselves. We're on autopilot now. We're on autopilot. And that's going to be the big defense. But no one's holding you back now. What's the problem now? No, that's how they get away with it. But generation after generation after generation of brainwashing and social conditioning, they're going to pretend like that had nothing to do with it. Mm-hmm. And you have people like Candace Owens and Kanye West.
Oh boy.
Come on television and what's his name? Bing Carson. World's greatest neurosurgeon. Greatest neurosurgeon of all time. But and you got Charles Barkley, all these conservatives, okay? They come out here and they say do nothing but use language that makes white supremacists feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. They're in bed. I mean, it's just.
And let me answer Rico's question from a minute ago, man.
What?
And then I want to ask NA's question. Rico would ask, why do it? Because it doesn't lift us up, but and why tear them down to try to lift ourselves up? Now, I'm gonna say there's a lie in your question, Rico, because we can't tear them down. No matter what we say, we're not going to change the status of anybody's position in the United States because we're at the bottom. We can't drag anybody down. Yeah, our temps are it's a child pulling at somebody's pants leg. That's that power we have. We can just pull at somebody's pants and yank. All we're gonna do is be annoying. That's all we got. So I mean, it doesn't matter what we say. But what is that called? A riot is the voice of the unheard. A riot is just another word for a tantrum. So what people are doing, they see their powerlessness, and nobody's listening to their complaints. Kanye, I'm not being treated fairly in my divorce. I'm not getting my contracts. Help me. Nobody's listening. Tantrum.
Not remotely the same thing.
Oh, it is the same thing.
No, it is not. In the case of
let's talk for 5 minutes. Let's talk for 5 minutes. Let me get my point out.
Help me remember Kanye contracts. Okay, y'all help me remember that. Kanye contracts.
Dave Chappelle had his issue with the contracts with the Dave Chappelle show. Mm-hmm. Then after that, he's having his problems with Netflix, where they wanted to cancel him over the transgender jokes, but then they doubled down and gave him some, more money, more shows. And he's having a fight with the public about being able to make jokes about transgender. Because again, he can make all the jokes he wants to about black people. He can actually make them about white people too. But as a comic, people are offended. Their ego. Because there are certain things that somebody's telling them that they cannot do, they cannot say as free people, as free Americans. But that people can take shots at them, but they cannot take shots back. There's going to be a level, if you're a powerful person, that's going to want to rebel against anybody putting that no pressure on you. Somebody telling you no, even as a man, if somebody came in your house right now and was like, no, Rico, you can't do this. You can be like, this is my house. There's a sense of ownership. There's a sense of autonomy that you're going to carry with yourself. And if you're a rich man in this country, you've had to carry that sense of independence and autonomy for quite some time. And for people to tell you that you can't do certain things, you got to admit that that's going to feel a certain type of way. Like, you may not react well. You may understand, but you got to admit that that's a real thing. I mean, even through the military, telling men what to do until they've gotten that training. There was probably some people that flamed out in basic training getting told what to do. Like there's a thing about being rebelliousness is inherent from children to teenagers to adults. Rebelliousness and defiance. So those are real attributes. Those are real things. So we got to admit that these are still human beings that have psychological issues that can still have the same problems that the rest of us have. I want to address first Inae's question. What are some suggestions for how Kanye could lift up people?
He can't. He's incapable. He's incapable. He's not capable of that. Okay, Kanye is a blithering idiot. Okay, he can't think past a third grade level. Okay, and he doesn't need to be on television. He doesn't need to be touted as one of our greats. None of that. He needs to be put in a closet in the dark and left there. He needs to hide, go away, disappear. You make us all look bad, Kanye. Everyone thinks that we're all like you, like we're stupid. We're all manic. We're all going to go crazy. We're going to rape women. And if we get in the White House again, the whole world's going to end. Okay?
Oh, boy.
Kanye is the problem. And here's the thing about his contracts, Inea. Kanye is here's how dumb he is. Oh, he's a genius. Really? Let's examine this genius level intellect.
A musical genius.
He comes from the music industry, known for shitty contracts. Look how they did TLC and all the jigs up with music contracts, right? Everyone knows about this.
Puff Daddy too. He rips people up.
Right. We all know about this. So you're telling me this guy who comes from an industry like that doesn't know better than to read a freaking contract when he's about to do some business with some people? Okay, he didn't read the contract first. So he's in the contract where he sees that he's making billions, right? With this company, with these companies, right? But his billions is what I was trying to tell people is that was kind of exhaust from the engine. You know what I'm saying? The meat and potatoes with the engine, the oil, the gasoline, that's what the companies had. His billions was just a byproduct of them making their money, right? Even though they're billions, he understands that how small his piece of the pie is. This isn't right. This isn't fair. Of course it's not. Of course it's not. He took the easy way out. The right way to do this, and he had while he's going through these contracts, while he had this contracts and had his billions, he could have started construction of his own manufacturing plants, getting all the materials and equipment he needed, sourcing materials, researching what materials he needs. You know what I'm saying? He had the capital, the influence, the resources, the network. He had everything and the time. He had everything he needed to do this. So when that contract's up, he says, "No, I'm not re-signing the contract. I'm doing this on my own." Boom! Goes right into business by himself, making his own products, hiring people, opening jobs. He could have set up like 4 big manufacturing plants nationwide in black neighborhoods, giving black people jobs. No, he doesn't do that, Arshawn. He had everything he needed to do it, except the knowledge, because the nigga don't study. He says himself he doesn't stay informed, and he gets on TV and says, "Hey, Kanye, now that the election's over, what do you think about next time? You gonna run next time, or what, have you improved on your stance on your platform?" Oh, I wouldn't really want to be president. I was just running to take votes away from Biden. That's election fraud. He admitted to election fraud on nationwide television. Where's the genius of intellect? And he could have opened up the industry, clothing industry of Yeezy into the black community. He did not do it. He doesn't want to do it for black people. He only wants to do for himself. Now you do nothing for the black community when you have every resource and time to do so. Now you want to ask us for help when you're in trouble and you married that chick. You pick the biggest thought in Hollywood. No class. No class.
I would love to add a word, but Mandrell said every word I had to say. And the way I said it, verbatimly. I have repeated. I swear he'd been in my house tape recording me. That's just how in sync every word he said, because to me it's factually true and it's like literally laid out before our eyes. And that's why I don't understand why we don't see it. No. I just really don't. And I get people's emotional connection to him, but I'm like, it's just laid out before our eyes, because of the fact of the matter is he was connected. He could have built an empire on top of an empire when he was connected, but because he was so in tune to him fucking self, he just really didn't care about us. And I'll go back a little bit further to what so and he said, I'm not saying that any previous artist ever did anything for the community. My issue with Kanye is the things that he said against us. Because when I look at all the other artists, I can call them all sellouts. They all sold out. But I don't have a list of them. I'll tell you this. I'll give you the names of the ones who've done something to the community when you give me the names of the ones that said slavery was a choice. When you give me the one that said Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves.
No. You give me the names of the ones that said white lives matters. When you give me the names of the people, because what we are doing is we are ignoring the things that he said offensively against us as if he didn't say them. Right. And I refuse to stand in that place, because if he was a non-black person, we would be railing until the end of time. So why in the hell are we acting like he didn't say? So again, I'll tell you this. I told somebody the other day, I said Sammy Davis Jr. was the most tap dancing Negro I know, with the Rat Pack and some more shit. He ain't never said no shit like that. I seen plenty of cooning ass black artists. When it came to them sitting there disparaging our community, they didn't do that. Yeah. And that's the bar that's too far.
And that's the thing. Yeah.
All of them tap dance for the man and the money. I ain't got no problem with that. Every athlete, entertainer, whatever, you tap dance for that money. But you don't shit on your people. That's what he did.
Sammy Davis never did. Now Sammy Davis actually, like Rico said, Sammy Davis tap dance, gunslinging, sing the whole nine. But when he was off stage, number one, he never denied black people. He never forgot who he was. He actually hated doing it.
Yes,
he hated a lot of that. He hated doing for white people, but he understood, in order for me to make this money and be this popularity and get this money, I have to do this.
And that's what makes him and some of these, I don't know if he's the only one, but he's the one I know that stands out. I'm like, dude, go do your tap dance and do whatever you do, but stop talking about us.
Yes.
Just leave us alone. That's my issue. And then when I'm sitting there talking to us in the community, I'm like, okay, so I'm the only person that saw this.
No, you're not. I see it. My sister sees it. My mother sees it. And we're all just like, race trader.
Yes.
The race trader. Race trader. We just shake our heads and be like,
that's all I'm saying. He can do everything else he don't. I don't care about who he's married to. I don't care about what he do. I don't care about who he work. I don't care about none of that. Leave us alone. That ain't too much to ask.
No. Make your money. Make your money. I'm with Rico. Make your money.
And once you've done that track record, when your ass get in trouble, get out of my face. I don't care what they do to you.
Yeah.
Because see, when he did that TMZ, slavery was a choice. That was what, 6-7 years ago? And Van Lathan had to snatch his ass up. And nobody else in the community took him to task for it and said, hey, bro, we need to educate you, because what you said was only that brother did it. No,
I think Charlemagne the God tried. Like Charlemagne the God tried. He said ever since that incident, he's been talking about it ever since. Like, I've been trying to work on Kanye. I've been trying this. I've been trying that to work on Kanye. Kanye won't listen. And Charlemagne, and Charlemagne's like this. He ain't listening.
He rocking. He got good music, and I was like, come on, bro. Are we serious? This what we doing now? And then the White Lives Matter T-shirt. Come on, what the fuck are we doing?
And hanging with Candace Owens.
What are we doing? So you know what? Okay, y'all be blind to it. That's all I'm saying. Is that that's the issue that I'm not gonna look past.
Actually, only thing I will say, and then he did say that what he could do with the money, he could have built businesses. He could have all the Yeezy manufacturing and all that stuff. Mandrill said he could have brought that to black communities, and provided jobs and manufacturing jobs in the black community. So that is one way he could have helped uplift black people.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Yeah.
And not just he's done those music boxes and socks and clothing.
Yeah.
So there's lots of stuff.
Now, you just watch what I do. You watch. And in 6 years, I will have accomplished what Kanye did not, and I did it with less. So, and I started with less, far less. Okay, watch my smoke. I will prove to you what we can do for our communities.
I ain't gonna say all that, but I'm rooting for you, brother.
Yeah,
he's wearing his brand. He's building a brand. That's his brand.
Yeah, this is my brand. This is the logo from my clothing brand. It's gonna start as an athletic brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and even the state of Alabama acknowledges my competition level. Nike, Under Armour. That's the category I'm in. Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, champions. That's the category my company's been put in.
But you know, man,
as far as competition, now it's gonna start off as this. Then I'm gonna move into a lifestyle brand.
But man, Drill, this is what was disappointing because my thing was he was plugged in with Adidas, Gap, and all that,
and that was the problem.
Like, he could have spent off, like you said, while he was in business with them, worth $2 billion. He could have spent off and said, "We're going to do this little smaller company, like you said, in these impoverished neighborhood," and you know, so that when you decide that you're going, I'm like, you know, again, like I said, better change. When we talk about change, it comes within the system rather than because from outside the system, oh, they see you. The powers that be that sit up on high, oh, you're trying to change them. Oh, we see your ass. We shooting down. But within the system, you can be stealth. You can be stealthily.
Yes, while you're inside, he could have been in the system, learning the ins and outs of the business, learning the ins and outs of it, learning the secrets. Look,
that's how
building relationships with their contacts.
Yes.
With their contacts, building relationships with their contacts, and with his popularity, he could have just like, okay, the contract's over. I'm already set up.
And Mandrill, you look at it like this. I'll tell people in the all time. 90% of the kings that are ever overthrown are overthrown from within the court.
Yeah.
It's not from outside. It's not another kingdom that wins. They're typically overthrown from within the court. Someone that poisoned the king, someone that's close to the king is his greatest enemy. It's not the people they see outside. It's the people that's close to them. And if he gave a shit, but Kanye, again, it goes back to his level of hubris and his level of narcissism where all he cared about was himself. All of his issue, again, and I don't know why we're so stuck on it, it was a personal business issue. And for that reason, I'm sorry, cry me a fucking river. I don't care what they did to him because he was happy to get in bed with them. He was happy to get in bed with them. And somebody just do me a favor. Go through, I've been trying to understand. I'm like, I looked at white people, Hispanic people. I'm like, who has ever talked themselves out of $1 billion?
He magooed his way into it in the first place. It ain't like he did it. It ain't like he did it. It ain't like he did it because he was a savvy businessman.
No, but this is all his loss of this economic wealth was simply from his mouth. He didn't do anything physically. He didn't do nothing sexually.
He's right.
He didn't do anything.
He's right. Literally, his mouth. Literally, he talked his way out. He literally talked his way out of $1 billion.
Out of $1 billion.
I mean,
he's such a
genius. I'm not trying to follow.
Rico, he's such a genius.
Musical
genius, Rico.
Musical
genius.
How do you talk yourself? I've seen. Oh, like, tell me he lost it at the casino. Tell me he had on hoes. Tell me he had a drug habit. This nigga was talking.
He had a drug habit.
No, he did not. Yeah.
Fame is a hell of a drug.
Fame
is a hell of a drug.
No, it's not.
He talked away $1 billion.
It ain't that good. God damn it.
How do you talk away $1 billion?
Listen, he also talked away a wife. He also talked away a man.
But he's the one who outed her business up in the street. So she had that's how we know Kim had an abortion. Because Kanye said it.
He talked away a marriage. He talked away a presidential campaign.
Yeah, because he's brilliant. He's brilliant. He's such a genius.
A musical genius.
No, he is not.
The fuck up. And then people get mad when they say, you want to take away his First Amendment right. Yeah, that nigga need them taken away.
Yeah, he does.
He would be $1 billion richer if he didn't have that fucking.
He need them snatched up, Arshawn.
Let me tell you this, Arshawn.
I wouldn't mind. I'm not
Arshawn, You gonna give me $1 billion? You can take my first, second, third, fourth, and fifth fucking amendment. Take them all. If you're gonna give me $1 billion. I don't want to be that stupid. $1.5 billion.
I can't help the man
because you talk too fuck. Ain't nothing I got to say that fucking important.
I'm with you. I'm with you, man.
I'm saying, ain't nothing I got to say that important.
Man. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
that's what we're talking about here. I'm like, let's look at the scale of this. And this is just for him talking. Because I can't find anything he did wrong. He ain't put no hands on nobody. He ain't done nothing sexually with nobody. He ain't done no drugs. He ain't done no game. I'm like, this nigga just won't shut up.
He won't, man. Ain't nothing we can do. Ain't nothing we can do, man.
That's it.
There is a such thing as a lost cause.
That's it.
I'm willing to admit that Kanye is a lost cause.
He's a lost cause. Yes, Arshawn, he is.
Only thing I want to ask for, only thing I'm asking for in this debate, I want to ask you for the right to listen to his first 3 albums. That's it. His first 3 albums.
No.
But what I do want to do to leave in the culture, this is what I want to tell the culture, my people. If you within 100 million miles of that kind of money, shut the fuck up. I don't care who you are. Mandrill, if you find your company within 100 million miles of $1.5 billion, shut the fuck up and collect and cash them checks.
Exactly.
That's all I want to tell us.
That's all I'm doing.
There's nothing we have to say that's important to throw away that level of wealth or influence because of what it can do. Collect that money and do something more positive and constructive with it. Because I really know he could have. He probably wouldn't have, but he could have, and now he can't because it's gone. That's all I'm saying. He probably wouldn't have, but he could have. And you know what I told somebody, Arshawn? Guess what? He was trying to prove a point. He didn't prove a point, and guess what? Today we got one less black billionaire. We're down one black billionaire, and
it's not even what he lost, Rico. It's not even just what. It's not even just the value that he lost.
But can we afford to be losing black billionaires when we're struggling so much as a collective to get into this upper levels of wealth? We can't afford to be throwing away fucking black. It's not like we got him in London.
We didn't have him. We didn't have him anyway. So we can lose him because we didn't have him.
Well,
he wasn't a black billionaire. He was just a billionaire.
But I just look at okay, we need more black billionaires. We ain't in a position to be fucking squandering any away.
No, but he is. He squandered it away. He squandered his own billion away. That's on him. That's not on us. I
get angry every time. It's like it's an L for the collective because I'd like to think that all of them at some point will feel sad and throw some pennies back or whatever. I don't know.
Nah.
Because I can tell you this. Here's the fact. The white ones ain't giving a shit. So he done gave his away. Somebody ain't gonna collect that check and be like, fucking niggas.
Yep.
That's the problem. Like, damn.
But yeah, man, he blew
opportunity.
Oh boy.
So when somebody black at that level lose, that whole ladder of opportunity is lost all throughout, because at least when Kanye was at that level, it was a ladder of opportunity for all the other people underneath, people of color. That ladder of opportunity is gone. Now, black people can't even tap in with Adidas. They can't tap in with Gap. They can't tap in with none of that through his, like football, they call it coaching tree. That shit is gone. And what I told somebody is, I'm like, Kanye's bad for business. I was telling clients, I was like, I wouldn't touch Kanye with a 10-foot pole. He's too fucking erratic. I don't care. He's bad for business. And here's one other bad thing, right? Because again, Mandrill, this is where I'm piling on. If I'm Adidas or Gap and Mandrill come in when I did, I ain't giving that nigga a cut. The last nigga fucked me.
Right.
It'll be twice as hard. That's what you do when you do that. And we don't sit there. I'm like, bruh, we did it for Kanye. Oh, Mandrill, he's like, nah, I'm going to let that nigga be an employee. I ain't letting him be an owner. I'm not giving them ownership. I'm not giving them partnership. I'm gonna let them be an employee. Why? Because I did it with Kanye, and look at what this stupid motherfucker did. He ran right here talking about Hitler. How come I know Mandrill ain't gonna come in here with the Hebrew Israelite or this? That's a fear that gets created in business. That's how business works. That's how business works. They don't want risk. Oh, I stuck my neck out for the last nigga. Oh, here come Mandrill. Nah, I'm gonna take his shit. I'm gonna cut him a check. He gonna be a fucking employee. He ain't owning shit. That's what you do when you don't do good bit. But when you do good business, you open up the opportunity for the next one who looks like you. Because hey, I won with the last one. If I lost with the last one, I'm gun shy. I'm just sorry. That's just the reality.
I hear you, man. I got to get ready to wrap up, man. I just want to say thank you both for coming up today. I'm going to let you get your final thoughts in a quick second. Anybody that's listening tomorrow with Kawhi Bree, I will be here at 3 p.m. Eastern for the ISM show. We will be talking about naive realism. We're talking about that concept tomorrow. So 3 p.m. Eastern, and I'll tie that into something. But Mandrill, man, appreciate you for coming in last minute because I didn't decide I was going to do this until sometime today. But thank you for coming through. Go ahead and get your final thoughts. Let me put you on the big face cam.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me, Arshawn. Inea, I know. But some people we have to dispose of. Some people are toxic. Race traders are just a few of them. Can't have those. They're going to go back and tell the opposition what we're up to. So then they can capitalize. They're already ahead. They got the money and resources. Can't have those around us. And we can't celebrate them. We have to leave them to their own devices. Let them pull themselves up by their bootstraps. That's what we can do for them. Let's see how that works out when Mr. Charlie is done with them. Anyway, Arshawn, this is a fantastic show, fantastic conversation. I appreciate being here. People don't fall for anything. And you can't support everyone and everything. You can't. Just because it's black doesn't mean you have to support it. That's really all I have to say. Just because it's black don't mean you got to support it. All skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Yeah. I hear y'all, man. I hear y'all coming down.
Yeah, like when Charles Barkley get in trouble.
Yeah. Kanye
pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Y'all won't help me. See, this is why I ain't support y'all in the first place. No, we don't support you because you had years of shitting on us.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey,
All right, Rico, man, get your final thoughts and let me put you on big face cam.
No, don't do that. That's okay. It's a great show. No, great show. Thank you for inviting me. Hopefully I had something to say that was worth listening to. Thank you, the man Drill. Always, I hate following him because he stole all my talking points at the end again because he's right. About we lean into the culture, and I'm a big supporter of the culture, as I know he is. I know you are, Arshawn, but like I said, me and Mandrill, we look at the culture critically, and we look at it, with the critical eye that it needs, And again, I love my people, but I ain't for their bullshit either. And in the case towards the end, Mr. West, he can get it together. He can come back into the fold, but he got to do the work. He's got to do the work. That's all there is to it. So I'm not going to say that he's not, he has no redeeming value, but for me, he need to clean up the shit that he done said about the culture. So everybody else is like, I was like, I ain't never took no exception. I don't think what he said about the J people was right, but that ain't been my point. My point is I keep bringing up what he said about us, and everybody act like, I never heard it. Like, where the fuck y'all been? Well, why? So when we talk about we don't have the power, because we take the power away from us. We out here giving out N-word passes to everybody. So why do we not have the power? Shit, we giving out nigga passes. We telling people it's okay to see it. You ain't got to be black. You know what I'm saying? So when Kanye says slavery's a choice, Harriet Tubman ain't did shit, Black Lives Matter is a scam, White Lives Matter, that's us co-signing. And we'll run out. Thank God them two young brothers had the trademark on the t-shirt, because I guarantee you a bunch of niggas be running around wearing White Lives Matter t-shirts because they want to rock with him. That's a ridiculous fucking ideology for me. So when I hear and see that Black leaders, influencers, rap artists promoting the idea that White Lives Matter as if that's some new shit too, or it even needs to be said or put on a t-shirt, and then other Black people wearing it, we don't have the power, or are we taking power away from us? So without being long-winded about it, again, we need to also critically, like you said, Arshawn, it's not a defense of Mr. West. It's about, for me, it's self-reflection, looking at us. Why did we allow this, and why do we do that? Even if it's somebody we bump with, whether it's an R. Kelly, Kanye West, or any other troubled artist, they all should be, judged in the same light. The Deion Sanders conversation, again, still conflicted. It's tough. I don't know where HBCUs are going to go. I think he did a wonderful thing for him for 3 years. I don't know if it's another Deion out there that's going to. There's that other talent. I don't know who else is going to step in that space. And if they don't, Jackson State had a good run. They're going to get another 2-3 years. But then will HBCUs fall back to obscurity, setting aside what Mandrill said accurately about their mismanagement and their mishandling of funds? That's totally a real thing. But them boys can ball. They need more eyes on them. And that's it.
I definitely appreciate you guys. I'm about to put knowledge and relationships link in the chat because they are live right now. So everybody, we don't have rays over here on YouTube like we do on Twitch. I can't just take y'all over there. So after this stream ends, please go over and just let them know that I sent you over there. Just go say hey. Let them know that I sent you, since we don't have rays. Again, gentlemen, I really appreciate both of you coming up last minute, because again, I didn't decide to do this until probably noon today.
Shout out Yellow.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Yellow Pill Coffee. I'm about to go to his website in a few minutes and buy some of that coffee.
Yes, sir. And I'll just
get the cinnamon flavor.
I'll put that in the banner because I know I have it here. Bam. So you can support Yella at yellowpillcoffeeco.myshopify.com to support him. He's got, one of those things where you got all the different flavors of coffee, have it shipped directly to your home, and it supports Yella and all his streaming endeavors, personal endeavors, business endeavors, all that good stuff. So, support the fella over there, Yella. I appreciate him also for coming through. I know he had to dip out and set up his stream for tonight. He's got his thing. If you're on Twitch, he's got his Insomniac movie night going right now. So go over there and support if you are a Twitcher. But thank you again, gentlemen. I am getting ready to shut this down. I hope you both have a good evening. I haven't been playing the intro. I didn't play the intro the last couple of days, but let me get an outro on the way out. Something blackety black. Something blackety black. All right,
outro. Use your outro.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the outro. I didn't play the intro, man. I'm gonna have to play my song soon because I miss it. But since we was talking about all the black folks and all the black, Deion's got to represent blackness in Boulder, and Kanye needs to do better for blackness. So let's talk about somebody that would definitely agree with you, Rico.
Who the fuck are you? Excuse me. I only debate my equals. All others I teach.
Need all the honors and 50s, let's spread it. I'm with this shit, so let's get it. Killing it, leaving nobody, no addicts. Sounds like I'm Lenny Kravitz.
You have cooned so bad, my brother, that they damn near need to put your face in the dictionary next to the word coon. And I don't mean no disrespect, my brother. White man play you like he play Sega. He play you, this is you. He ain't even got to be in the hood. He got this. He played Negroes like this. But they not speaking up against your oppression. I wish another coon, boot-licking, shot-jiving Uncle Tom will get in my face talking about we need to be patient. We got to sweat. Y'all don't want to sweat. Y'all don't want to sweat. Y'all just want to be comfortable.
It's none of your concern. You don't have the right to ask me where I've been. You don't have the right to know what I was doing. You messed up, and I took a break. And guess what? The next time you mess up, I'm going to take another break.